step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Oh, because it feels so good. Good morning. Welcome to it. So good to have you in our company. My name is Graham Richards. Welcome to your Feel Good kickstart to a Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for choosing us. We absolutely love you, and we're going to have an amazing day. We know on a Tuesday here on your Feel Good breakfast show, we do take a medical turn, so there is going to be a lot to lean on today, and we've got advice coming from just about every corner. We want your engagement. But I'm going to ask you to forgive me just a little bit. I know I'm emotional at the best of times. Today is going to be quite a challenge. Why? Because Stephen Kitsoff is going to be stepping into studio to chat about his unbelievable career, 2 Rugby World Cups, but an incredible service to South African rugby. And of course, we were starting to see possibly the writing on the wall when he was last in studio. And of course, he has officially retired now. I know what my highlights of his career are. Those World Cups certainly stand out, but cannot wait to find out from him what stands out in his incredible journey. So if you've got any questions for Stephen, please start posting them now. And likewise, we are building towards a massive moment in entertainment in the Metro FM Awards. Someone I would imagine who is very excited about today's show. Good morning, Zanelli. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, my beautiful Graham. I'm amazing, thank you. And you are not wrong. Graham, literally one of my calendar highlights every single year. The Metro FM Music Awards. It is always so big, so incredible. Also so important because it highlights just our incredible artists all around South Africa. So I really cannot wait for the 3rd of May. But like you said, we're going to be celebrating all of that, right? Not just in the form of having Mawelele coming and performing, but we're also chatting to one of our bosses. I'll put in a good word for you, okay, Graham, just in terms of chatting to the boss. But you put in a good word for me with Steve Vovo. Tell him I'm so proud of him, please.
Oh, my friend, there will be hugs all round. Don't worry. And luckily, I'm not alone. He's going to get the warm embrace of everybody in studio this morning, including my friend who needs a little bit of help, as she often does on a Tuesday morning, getting dressed for work, man. It's time for a fashion poll. Good morning, Carissa. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, Gray. I'm doing so well on this Tuesday morning. Listen, it is Tuesday at Expresso fam. I'm going to need you to lean in just a little bit and help me choose between 2 looks. Now, we're headed into autumn-winter 2025, and we know it's a little bit more about that less effort but more style. We definitely don't want to compromise on the fashion, so I've got 2 gorgeous looks that I need your help to choose with. The first one is I have to admit one I'm leaning towards. This is definitely something within my comfort zone. A nice dark wash denim with a cuffed bottom paired up with a classic black belt, but the hardware goes down and matches the loafers as well with that goldy, bronzy feel on it as well. A classic look, bringing in the Parisian touch with the striped top as well. This one is a beautiful part of the knitwear, part of Woolies collection, and this look together paired with a red lip perhaps definitely will make the top of the list. Let's move on to our neutral look. A monochrome is always a great idea. And here we've got a beautiful cardigan paired with, come on, a gorgeous pair of pants. And we got to pair it with these pair of shoes, which for your workday, I think brings in something cool and casual, but not compromising on the style. So 2 gorgeous looks to choose from. Let me know, Expresso fam, in which direction we are going with. Personally, I like option 1, but it's not about me at the end of the day. You get to help me choose and dress me for the rest of this gorgeous Tuesday. So let me know what it will be. Remember to use that hashtag Styled by Woolies. Head over to our socials and let me know, is it option 1 or is it option 2 that you're going for?
Our beautiful Vavi that is going to be styled by you, beautiful Mzansi. Come on through. Let us know which one Carissa should jump on into. I'm also leaning towards option 1, Carissa. But the thing is, you look great at anything. So Mzansi, hashtag styled by Woolies. Head on over to social media. And speaking of which, we also want to hear from you, all in the name of Relationship Tuesday right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We want to hear from you on hashtag Expresso Show. Let's do this. It is all about social media and our relationships. We want to know just how much of your your relationship should you be sharing on social media, and how much of it should you be keeping private? We're also open to those voice notes. You know this, 063-408-8863. And of course, on all social media platforms, it is hashtag Expresso Show. I'm going to quickly tell you, for me, -5%. That's how much you should be sharing. Don't share. Keep it hidden, all of it. I'm kind of joking, but I'm not. It's very dangerous out there. But let us know what you think. Hashtag Expresso Show. And let's get into that conversation on Relationship Tuesday. Right about now, let's go find out the relations between the whole entire world in terms of what's happening. Here's the beautiful Carissa with your news headlines.
Oh, thank you, gorgeous Sanele. 5 minutes after 6 o'clock. Let's get into that first bit of news for this Tuesday morning. Now, starting out nationally, where President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa's agricultural sector is primed for investment, given its growth potential. Now, in his weekly letter, he emphasized its role in food security and exports while acknowledging changes. He noted progress in improving rail, port, road and water infrastructure to support the sector. However, he stressed that sustainable agriculture depends on land ownership. He called for black farmers' inclusion in commercial farming, urging the land bank and financiers to provide capital and organize agriculture to offer training. In other national news, the Free State Education Department has budgeted 106 million rand for school transport in 2024-2025. However, delays in payments to service providers caused by cash flow issues have left thousands of learners without transport. Department spokesperson Howard Ndaba says payments will be made before Friday after the provincial treasury intervened. And many service providers, last paid in December, have halted services, affecting over 9,000 learners who rely on school transport on the daily. The department is working to resolve the crisis. In your international news-making headlines, the United States is open to exploring critical minerals partnerships with the Democratic Republic of Congo, following a proposal by a Congolese senator. Rich in cobalt, lithium and uranium, DRC has been grappling with Rwanda-backed M23 rebels. Now, the U.S. State Department expressed interest in partnerships aligned with the, quote, America First agenda, highlighting Congo's key role in the global mineral market. Now, while Congo seeks diversified partnerships, government spokesperson Patrick Muyaya emphasizes the openness to U.S. investment in the DRC's abundant mineral reserves. Meanwhile, hundreds of flights have been cancelled across Germany due to a nationwide strike by airport staff. Lufthansa confirmed the widespread disruptions, urging travelers to avoid transport as planes are unable to take off. Now, the strike began in Hamburg Airport over a pay dispute, with the Verdi union demanding an 8% raise. Employers rejected the demand, calling it unaffordable. Now, the strike could affect up to 500,000 passengers, and further action is possible. Pay negotiations are set for Friday, with hopes for resolution in the ongoing dispute. And closing off your 6 o'clock news, we touched down in the mother city where love was in the air at Cafe Roo in Cape Town this weekend when Just Ginger's frontman Art Matthews took the stage, not just for a performance, but for a life-changing moment. Inviting his longtime partner, actress and model Tanya van Graan, on stage for a quick story, he nervously confessed, "We have one life and I want to do it with you." Then he dropped to one knee. The crowd erupted in cheers as Tanya, overwhelmed with joy, said yes. Sharing her excitement online, she called Art the kindest, most loving person, and their journey an anthem of love. Now, with music and romance intertwined, their engagement became a melody of pure happiness. Huge congratulations from the Expresso fam to you, Art and Tanya. We wish you nothing but the best for this next chapter. So we leave your 6 o'clock news on the best of notes. Let's hope that carries across in sports with Graham.
Ah, that's lovely. Congratulations to the happy couple. Let's start on a loving note. In fact, as we delve into rugby, and no Irish players will face a Six Nations disciplinary hearing. That's despite France's request following Antoine Dupont's knee injury. So the French captain tore his cruciate ligaments in a ruck collision with Tag Byrne and Andrew Porter. That was during France's 42-27 victory in Dublin over Ireland. Dupont confirmed he will be sidelined for several months as a result of the injury. Now let's bring it back home for some great news for Eric Tinkler, who's been named Sekhukhune United's new head coach, replacing Lehlonolo Siema. So he debuts this Wednesday, not much time, against Marumo Gallants in Bloemfontein. Tinkler arrives with Mark van Heerden as assistant, while Paulus Masehe, he stays on, and Caetano Tembo then exits the fold. The former Bafana midfielder returns to management after being sacked by Cape Town City in December of last year. Now, staying with footballing news, a little further afield, Nottingham Forest have lost their appeal against a £750,000 fine for a social media post criticising referee Stuart Atwell. So the post, made after their 2-0 loss to Everton last season, accused Atwell of bias due to his ties to relegation rivals Luton. So the FA Cup upheld the fine, calling it, and quote, an unparalleled attack on officials, and ordered the post's removal. Now on to cricket, and Cricket South Africa, or the CSA, has docked the Dafabet Warriors match points, ruling them out of the One Day Cup playoffs. Serious business. A review found they failed to meet transformation requirements in their 16th of February clash up against Hollywood Bet's Dolphins. So the breach of violating clause 3.2.2 of the CSA's administrative rules and conditions involved not fielding the required number of black African players on the day. So I love the fact that we are maintaining the rule of law, so we'll watch that space, but massive implications, and that's where we leave our sporting headlines for now. Let's get our first dose of Tuesday morning weather.
Thank you so much, Graham. Let's take a look at Mzansi at what you can expect for today. Now, the SA Weather Service has issued a level 2 warning for severe thunderstorms over central and eastern northwest, Free State and southwestern Gauteng. Expect heavy downpours, localized flooding, strong winds, excessive lightning and small hail. Disruptive rain can also be expected along the coast from Port Alfred to Port Edward, which may lead to flooding from Thursday into Friday. Foggy patches will affect parts of the West Coast, KZN, Eastern Cape and the Western Cape. Meanwhile, extreme heat due to berg winds is expected over the western interior of Western Cape and Northern Cape. We'll keep you up to date with anything else that comes through, but I always tell you that we love to be up to date with what your side of life is looking like, all in the name of the Sunrise View, Mzansi. This morning, Henry from Muizenberg, you have done everything that needed to be done. This picture is absolutely stunning. I am beside myself. I keep telling you, Mzansi, that anything that looks like it's a sunset but a sunrise and you can't tell the difference, but it just looks so gorgeous. It is my absolute fave, and this is giving me all kinds of feels. Thank you so much, Henry. And SA, this is your sign to send in your sunrise view, please, on 063-408-8863. I always call it your country duty because, honestly, I feel like it puts a smile on the rest of our faces. So let's do the right thing and send it on through, shall we? Coming up, though, we're going to be getting into your temperatures and so much more. Let's take a look at what exactly they're looking like, actually.
I love how everyone inside is like looking outside. Is it really going to be this? Is it that? Yep, those are your temperatures. So brace yourself wherever you are. Just be safe. If it's raining, the rain has been hectic in areas. Just stay indoors for the next 3 hours. It's your safest bet.
Yeah.
And we're going to be making a tikka chicken salad as your reward.
I like this. Tikka chicken salad. I have not put those two together before, so definitely looking forward to the
Yum.
taste and the flavor. Not only that, Gray did say that it is a Health Tuesday, so we're getting into understanding a bit more about anemia, but when it comes to maternity in particular, when it comes to being pregnant and how it affects the mom and potentially the baby. It's going to be a really interesting chat, and the facts will scare you perhaps, but don't worry, help is on the way straight after this.
Only you can It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your Feel Good Breakfast show right here, Expresso on S3, and it is a Health Tuesday, which means that we're going to give you the good stuff. Help is on the way, all right? Because anemia during pregnancy is a silent but very serious health concern that, listen to this, affects millions of women worldwide. In fact, 2 out of 3 South African expectant mothers are at risk. Now, left untreated, it can lead to severe complications for both mother and baby itself. Now, today we're joined by inflammatory bowel disease nurse specialist Sister Karine Davidson to unpack the impact of maternal anemia and also how it can be prevented and what sort of steps expecting mothers should take to safeguard their health and that of their children. Most importantly, Sister, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having
A topic that's not often discussed, so it's necessary on this Health Tuesday to get into it. As you said before, even in the break, that it's often an overlooked issue, not something that people even know to bring up when it comes to checking in with their doctors. So what are the most common causes of anemia in pregnancy? How does that sort of work?
Okay, so anemia is basically caused by iron deficiency. And iron deficiency is when your iron stores or your iron pantry is running a bit low. And you don't have enough iron to meet your body's requirements.
Right.
And so iron is used to make your red blood cells in your body, which then carry your oxygen around your body. So if you're iron deficient, you can become anemic. So anemia is the end stage of iron deficiency. Now, what happens in pregnancy is that your iron demand increases more than it would be normally. So not only are you trying to meet your own iron needs, you need iron to grow the placenta and you need iron to grow your baby.
Right.
And the problem is a lot of women, up to 40% of women, enter pregnancy already iron deficient. So they've depleted over years through heavy menstrual bleeding, through rapid growth, through poor diet. And so they go into pregnancy iron deficient and then they have this massive increase in demand.
Sheesh. Okay. Early warning signs. Let's talk about that because often we meet it at the end where the symptoms are very apparent, but maybe there are ways that we can tackle this beforehand.
Absolutely.
What do we look out for?
So it's important to remember that iron deficiency and anemia have the same symptoms. You don't have to be anemic to have the same symptoms. So often we want to catch things when you're iron deficient and not anemic. So things that we often write off as normal life. So fatigue, poor sleep, brain fog or poor mental concentration, what we call poor effort tolerance, so your inability to get to an end of a day without feeling like you've got to get on the couch and have a sleep.
Sure.
And so those are very early signs. One of the big things as well are what we often call pregnancy cravings. So where you're craving weird substances. Now that has a medical term called pica, but it is a very classic symptom of iron deficiency and anemia.
Wait, what is weird, Sister?
Okay, so now we got to talk weird. So eating copious amounts of ice, chalk, soil, paper, very different things. So mostly non-food substances, but also very strange combinations of food. So people will say, I want to eat sardines and pineapple together. So these things are often indicative of iron deficiency and anemia. So really, I think bear in mind, fatigue is not normal. Pregnancy brain fog is not normal. Eating copious amounts of ice is not normal.
Right.
So really those are your
Some of the early signs you can look at. Well, I mean, speaking about diet, maybe we can touch on this for a second because are there ways that we can supplement or support ourselves when it comes to our diet to make sure that maybe we can avoid all of this that you speak of?
100%. So I think it's very important to recognize that diet is great for maintaining iron levels, but it's very difficult to bring low iron levels up with diet alone.
Okay.
And when we look at diet, we look at iron-rich foods. So we look at things that are high in iron. So our meats, like our red meats, our chicken, our fish, that kind of thing. And then our non-heme irons, which are all our leafy green veggies, our legumes, our nuts, those kind of things. So those are all really great iron-rich foods. But if you can combine them with the vitamin C containing food, your absorption of those foods is much better.
Right, your oranges.
Yeah, your oranges, your red peppers combined with one of your meats makes a big difference. And then also to make sure your B12 levels are good because that also helps absorb or helps your body to absorb iron from your intestinal tract. So it really makes a big difference.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that help is on the way. I mean, I'm sure many women right now are feeling more at ease. Perhaps if they've gone a little bit too far, please tell me that there are treatments available that could perhaps help women in these situations. Is there anything else if diet doesn't help, or maybe, yeah, just to support that?
Absolutely. So definitely, just because you're iron deficient doesn't mean you've got to stay that way.
Okay.
So oral iron is always first prize. So the most important thing is to check that you are iron deficient. So don't just go on your symptoms and go and take iron. You need to check your levels first, because oral iron is a treatment. So you need to make sure that you're treating something that is deficient and not just taking it because you think you may be.
Right.
So oral iron definitely, and make sure that you take it correctly, so that you're taking it no tea, no coffee, no cereals, no dairy an hour before or after your oral iron.
Sure.
And that you take it again with vitamin C. And then you only take oral iron for 6 weeks, and then you recheck. If you haven't had a response within that 6 weeks, you need to switch to an IV iron formulation. So don't keep taking oral iron for months on end, or years on end, thinking it's going to help if you're not responding, and particularly in pregnancy where time is short. 6 weeks of oral iron, no response, switch to IV iron, because you've got to correct it during pregnancy in particular.
Oh, I love that. Sister Karine is still here. Part 2 is coming your way. We've spoken all about anemia when it comes to pregnant women. What about the babies? Well, we'll touch on that in just a little bit. Graham is standing by with some good news, though. Let's see what he has.
Well, as we move from today's little mini health journey to our long-term, our lifelong health journey, there are those that walk that path with us. And right now, it's time for Pharmacy of the Week, where we celebrate the dedicated professionals literally shaping healthcare around us. And this week, we shine the spotlight on Kroon Pharmacy in Bethlehem, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, officially the sponsors of Brave.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
I grew up in Bethlehem. I was born here. The patients come in and they become your friends and they become your family. The community is important to me. In the bigger cities, you don't have that community feeling that we have here, and that's what makes it special. Some of the older people phone in and they talk for hours and they just need somebody to talk to. So that's also part of what I see as self-care from the pharmacy side, that we're there for that small part of the patient that they don't always have somebody to talk to or to help them with. Because we're a community pharmacy, our market is the people.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Carenza Parisi, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Oh, I love that. Our market is the people. Thank you for your unwavering commitment and tireless efforts as we step into this brand new year, ensuring our communities, as you said, your family stays healthy and thrives for the year ahead. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, we're going to thank you with a more critical medical advice. If it comes to pregnancy, if you're on that journey right now, we are talking about anemia when it comes to our moms, expecting moms, and now the babies. We'll focus on the little ones and what that low iron level means for them. And then we're going to up our own iron intake a little bit with a beautiful, look at that, tikka chicken salad. It is popping with color and all the right kind of flavor notes. And you can find it at expressoshow.com. You can cook along with us in just a moment. We'll see you now. Oh, it looks good.
Only you can make my day. It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
We're back on your Health Tuesday on Expresso, your Feel Good breakfast show. And we're also back with Karine Davidson, Sister Karine Davidson at that, diving deeper into the impact of maternal anemia on newborns in particular. Now, with research showing that babies born to anemic mothers can take years to catch up developmentally, it's clear that iron levels during pregnancy play a crucial role in shaping a child's future health. So let's get into this because it's vitally important. We're not just taking care of our bodies, but the bodies of the bodies that we're creating, essentially. So let's get into talking about not only affecting the mother, but the children too. The long-term effects, what are some of the risks on the newborn babies? Can we get into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think iron is critical to baby's neural development and physical development in utero. So the baby needs iron right from the get-go in terms of development. Now, when we look at babies whose mums are iron deficient and or anemic, they often have what we call intrauterine growth retardation. So they're smaller than they should be for their gestational age.
Sure.
So these babies are often born low weight. They're born premature, so they're at risk of premature delivery. They have a much higher ICU admission rate post-delivery. They have much higher risk of infections in their first part of their lives. They're poor feeders, they're poor sleepers, and they also bond poorly with their mother. So, you know, those are kind of very early on. And then you look at your little infant or kind of baby who's growing, and they reach their milestones both cognitively and physically later than children who are born to mothers who are not iron deficient. So early on in children's development, this has a huge impact on their ability to learn and grow and absorb and process information cognitively.
Sure. And is this something that if moms don't pick it up early enough and they see it with their children, they only pick it up at a later stage with them?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, pediatricians would notice this.
100%.
Okay. Oh, I don't want to say it's scary, but some of these things are things that we have to consider, even probably before falling pregnant. I mean, early detection is definitely key to avoid these complications. So I wonder how often pregnant women should maybe get their iron levels checked, or women in general maybe. Because before falling pregnant, maybe it's important to even know where you're at.
Absolutely, and I think that's key. So if you're planning a pregnancy, check your levels before you fall pregnant.
Yeah.
And not just a hemoglobin. Please check your full iron studies, because if you only check a hemoglobin, you're going to miss iron deficiency. And iron deficiency is so much more easily correctable than anemia. So we always say if you're planning a pregnancy, check those levels first, but also check them throughout your pregnancy. So every trimester, check your iron levels, because your demand increases as your baby grows and as your pregnancy moves on. So be very aware that you are so at risk if you're pregnant. So it's so worth checking it so that it can be corrected in time for your baby before they're born, but also for you as a mom to stop complications that come from being low on iron or anemic during your pregnancy and with delivery. So postpartum hemorrhages, being fatigued afterwards, postnatal depression is increased if your iron levels are low.
Sure.
So really, we really encourage pregnant moms, please insist, advocate for yourself. And I think that's the message.
Yeah.
Advocate for yourself. Ask your gynae, ask your clinic, please check my iron levels, please make sure that they're what they should be for my pregnancy.
And can you cross over from iron deficiency to anemia throughout the pregnancy? So at any point it could happen?
100%.
Okay, so it is important to constantly check in on
Yes,
this.
it is. Yeah,
okay.
very much so.
Sister, could we touch on iron infusions? Can you tell me a little bit more about this? Because this sounds like a good thing to even know about. Yeah.
So I think, again, it's important to remember that oral iron is first prize because it is easily tolerable and it works really well. But if you don't absorb oral iron well, or you're running out of time in your pregnancy, intravenous iron is an incredibly good solution because it bypasses the gut, so you're not relying on gut absorption. It works really quickly and it corrects levels very quickly. So it's a very good option if oral iron is not working, or as I say, in your third trimester when you've kind of run out of time to take your oral iron, to make sure that those levels are back up and that your baby's got the iron that they need very quickly. So it's a really good option. They're safe. They need to be administered obviously in a good medical setting, and you need to use a good medical grade iron. So you need to make sure that you're being dosed correctly for your requirements.
I love that. And I love that you've come with solutions and also encouragement that, yes, advocate for yourself at the end of the day, regardless at what point you are in your pregnancy. You know your body, or you should get to know your body a little bit better. So, sister, thank you so much for coming through with that. We really do appreciate it. It is a Health Tuesday, and that is how we wrap up our conversation all around talking about pregnancy, anemia, and the babies that get impacted by this. I hope that you've taken some notes, Expresso fam. But now that's where we leave this, and we head into you perhaps winning some money on this Tuesday. Graham, tell us more.
Perhaps we're going to have to do a lot better to manifest this morning because it's a lot of money. Powerball and Powerball Plus is offering up 76 million rand in total estimated jackpots today. You could make it rain, lots of cash this March. You just got to play. So how do you do it? Well, you can play Powerball for an estimated 43 million rand, then Powerball Plus for an estimated 33 million rand. Today. It is a lot, so don't get left behind. You can buy your tickets in store. You can go nationallottery.co.za. You can go on the mobile app. They've got a brilliant platform. You can go on your own cell phone banking platform, or you can dial star 120 star 7529 hash for USSDs. Just do it, and we've posted all of those details on the Expresso social media pages, so you've got no excuses. Go and check them out and panda push or play that Powerball and Powerball Plus jackpots sitting at 76 million rand today. Good luck.
Ooh, it seems like it's really going to be something special, and you need to make sure that you get all of those details like you heard from Graham. It is all over our social media. But Expresso family, this morning, I am so excited for something that is also all over social media, the Metro FM Music Awards 2025. We're going to be diving on into what we can expect come the 3rd of May in Bombela Stadium. Make sure you do not go anywhere. Also coming up, we've got Mawelele in the building, and he is going to be telling us all about his brand new album called Time. Do not go anywhere, ne? Because honestly and truly, the time, it waits for nobody. We're going to take 2 minutes, and we'll be back after this.
Start your day with Bacomo and start winning. Enter the Bacomo Powerball competition and stand a chance to win your share of 3 million rand in cash and prizes. Buy any participating Bacomo cereal, upload your till slip to Bacomo's WhatsApp line at 074 666 0900, and you could be selected to play live on the Bacomo Powerball game show, where even bigger prizes await. Competition closes 4 May 2025. Entry details and T's and C's at bacomo.co.za.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, Mzansi. You're right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Indeed, and this morning we are celebrating, honey. You know it's one of my favorite things to do, and I am so excited because the highly anticipated Metro FM Music Awards 2025, they are upon us. It was all kicked off at the nomination party that happened in Sandton not too long ago, where we got to see a star-studded room of peeps come together to celebrate all of the beautiful artists that are being celebrated this time around. And honestly, I cannot wait to find out who's going to take home some trophies come the 3rd of May. But, my friend, we're all going to have to wait to find out. For now, what we can do is find out from one of the bosses, the head of marketing at the SABC, what exactly we're in for when we talk about the 3rd year in Mpumalanga at the Mbombela Stadium, where it's going to be a beautiful night of celebration and, of course, everything good when it comes to celebrating our beautiful, incredible people who give us music. Everybody, please, let's welcome none other than Sibusiso Kumbi. Sbu, how are you?
I'm okay, thanks. And how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Can I call you Sbu on television because you're my boss? Okay, thank you.
No,
thank you,
Sbu.
boss. All right. Sbu, let's talk about this. I
Yeah.
feel like this is something that we've been waiting for.
Yes.
Since last year, it was the 2nd year where the Metro FM Music Awards were
Yeah.
back. And now year number 3, bigger and better.
Bigger and better.
Let's get into just the crux of what I know the artists are always waiting for, which is being able to submit their music.
Yeah.
How much more entries did we get in 2025?
So, 3rd year, we managed to get a record of submissions. For previous years, we've never really managed this submission rate. But we got just over 2,700 submissions.
What?
Yeah. It just shows in terms of the Metro FM Music Awards how powerful the brand is on its own.
Yes.
And it just shows even within the music industry that we're still leaders within that aspect in terms of recognizing artists.
Yeah.
And we saw last year in terms of the music awards themselves, the type of productions. And I think being rewarded and recognized by Metro FM in some sort gives you a certain status within the industry.
True.
I mean, we've heard stories where artists would increase their rate fees immediately after winning the Metro FM award.
It's true.
So it
Yesterday's
makes sense.
price is not today's
Yesterday's
price.
price is not today's price. So it makes sense for us to really have these record submissions in terms of the number of submissions that we got. And we only
100%.
opened for 2 months,
That's true.
from December to the end of Jan.
Yeah.
So it was really overwhelming to get such a reaction from the industry.
And what was the vetting process? Because also me, I want to drop an album one of these days.
Okay.
So, okay, when I submit for next year,
So-
what is it?
So what we look at immediately after the awards, being May, so we take songs that have been produced and released between May
Yeah.
and December.
Okay.
So that's what we take. So
Sure.
those are the only songs that we take. And you saw the nomination.
Yay! It's hot over there.
It is very hot.
From Birimarung to Elaine
Yeah, I
to
know.
Koning.
I don't even know which one
I'm-
I'd vote for.
I also don't know myself. It's okay. At least it's up to Mzansi to do the voting.
Yeah,
yes. But Smooth, talk to us about this beautiful theme, because I
Yeah.
feel like when it comes to the MMAs, they never miss theme-wise.
We never miss.
Crowning greatness. What is it about exactly?
So, if you remember quite well, we moved from Black is Back
Yes.
to another theme, and this year we decided that let's just crown greatness, because that's what we are known for.
Yeah.
And it's not just about crowning the actual artists as well, but crowning the people that would be at the MMAs on the black carpet as well, in terms of what they're wearing. But more than anything, I think what really matters is us just crowning the greatness within the craft of music,
Yes.
be it the most best engineered song or the viral song, but we're just crowning people that just bring greatness within the music industry.
Yes, I
So
love
for
that.
us, it was far much more broader than just looking at the fashion itself,
Yes.
but really speaking about recognizing excellence within the music industry and fashion.
I love that. And of course, those who are crowned, they're not just going home just with a trophy.
No.
They're going home with some money, honey.
I mean, we are the biggest urban radio station in South Africa, so we can't make people drive and fly all the way to Mbombela
For
and
nothing.
come empty-handed.
I love
So
that.
obviously that
Yes.
award comes with something.
What is the something spoon?
So we do have prizes from 50,000 to 150,000, which is the biggest one.
Yo.
And by the way, I think we are the only awards that really give cash prizes.
Yes.
So including the silhouette that we also just give them as well. But yeah, people will be, well, artists, winning artists
Yeah.
will be recognized not just from an award perspective, but in terms of payment as well.
That's beautiful. Do you see why I want to enter now? Because
Please,
there's
do
nice
release
things.
that song.
Could I do release that song? I feel like you're misleading me. But I also feel like that's so important.
Yeah.
Because for so many artists,
It is.
capital is always the thing that falls
And
short.
I think, again, going back to the submissions that we got, I mean, artists just know that it's not just about recognition, but there is some form of reward that comes with the awards themselves.
Yes, and their hard work, of course.
Hard work as well.
Yes, and let's move very quickly. Marketing strategy for this beautiful night, the 3rd of May. What are we looking at?
For us, it's just more than just a marketing strategy, but really giving people an experience within the Metro FM. So we just want to ensure that we immerse everyone within the Metro FM brand.
Yes.
So what we're doing, literally, you buying one ticket for 3 events this year. So we want to do something a bit different this year in terms
Yes.
of just before the awards, so that we can get people at the stadium quite earlier.
Nice.
And then the main awards, which is the gala dinner, where we would be awarding the artists.
Yeah.
And then the festival, which is the biggest card for us. I think I've seen the lineup yesterday. It looks amazing.
Oh, and I mean, you already have all the biggest
We
artists
already
there in
have-
Bombela. So then,
if you want to really get an indication of who would be performing, just look at the nominees. That
I
we have.
love, and everyone's nominated. Ke. However, well, the best of the best, at
Thank
least.
you.
But Smooth, one last thing.
Yeah.
Our viewers at home, how can they be part of the night?
The tickets are available at CompuTicket.
Beautiful.
They quite affordable as well. So we got 3 different tiers within, 4. We are selling the upper and the lower level.
Yes.
And then we are selling the floor seating. Then we've got suites that are available. Last year we got a lot of requests in terms of the suites.
Yes.
So this year we made sure that we avail the suites at Mbombela. And trust me,
Yes.
you do not want to miss this one, Nana.
I'm going to be there in the sweet game now, living the sweet life.
I like that one.
Boss, 8 p.m., 3rd of May, we will be there.
Yeah. If you are unable to make it to Mbombela,
Yes.
just remember that we are also on SABC Plus.
Tango.
It is the biggest and the fastest growing streaming platform. So just ensure that you register.
Love it.
Tango.
Beautiful.
Yes.
It is going to be a spectacle of note. Incredible Expresso family. And we cannot wait for you to be part of it, whether you're going to be joining us at Mbombela Stadium right there in the thick of it, or you're going to be with us on SABC Plus, where we are going to be celebrating all of the incredible artists that bring us such incredible artistry all throughout the year. We cannot wait for you to be part of it. Remember, tickets, CompuTicket, that is where you can sort yourself out, and your friend and your friend's friend, bring everybody. And then on top of that, remember, you can join us 8 p.m. on that night. It is going to be beautiful indeed. The Metro FM Music Awards 2025, where we will be crowning greatness. My beautiful family there in Cape Town, are you ready to do the things that need to be done for us to celebrate the MMAs in the best way?
I love the swag that's coming with this year.
Yeah.
From the top down, baby. I absolutely love that because the artists deserve it. And in fact, you deserve something special because we love you. And who says salads are boring? Who says that?
Nobody.
Nobody. This tikka chicken salad is delicious. It's a fusion of smoky, spicy chicken, crisp, refreshing veggies, all tied together with a cooling yogurt dressing. I love the balance of this. My friend,
Yes.
are you up for chicken
I'm
duty?
so excited.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna handle
Walk
the
us through
chicken.
it. Okay.
Okay, so we've got some chicken breasts that have been cubed here. You can also use chicken thighs because then it will be like super juicy. But if you want to stick to lower calories, this is where you want to be.
Nice
We're going
and
to add, exactly, some olive oil, lemon juice. Lemon and chicken is just the
Oh,
perfect
for
combo.
sure. Bit of zing. It also helps to break down the fibers. Tikka.
Tikka, some tikka and
And we are
some
blessed. I mean, we've
salt.
got some of the best kind of spice purveyors in the world here in South Africa. So go and do a deep dive. Find that person
Yep.
in your life that can mix you up a spice. Because let's be honest, most of us don't know what we're doing
No.
in this space. So, you know, rely on the pros, but you can get yourself a beautiful tikka masala, something that kind of captures all those flavors you like.
Yep.
You'd be surprised at how many culinary resources are sitting on your doorstep.
Literal doorstep. So I would recommend leaving this to cook and marinate a little bit, but
sure.
obviously for the magic of TV, we're gonna go straight in. And then of course you wanna use a griddle pan if you have one so you can get the lines on
In
it.
fact, she demanded a griddle pan for this morning.
I
So
did.
thank you, Tiffany, for organizing us a griddle pan.
It had to look like the end result. And I said, somebody's gonna ask questions and it's gonna be me.
It is going to look beautiful. I'd even add a little like turmeric to the spice mix to make it, give it that yellow color. Beautiful. So while you get going with that, and it shouldn't take too long because it's nice and lean.
Exactly.
I'm going to start assembling our actual salad here. We've got a beautiful selection of leaves.
Yeah.
Baby spinach, so healthy,
Yeah.
great source of iron.
I
We've
like
been talking
that.
about
Bring it
bolstering the
together.
iron. We've got some rockets, which I think has a beautiful peppery kind of
Yeah, that's
flavor.
my favorite leaf.
And that gives us a nice, beautiful green base. Then we're gonna, I'm just looking at the finished product here. And obviously there is probably no wrong way of putting a salad together, albeit maybe the things not landing on the actual plate. But beyond that, you are fine.
I also like adding carrots into my salads. Like julienne or ribboned is just the perfect color combo.
I'm glad you said that because I think it adds a little bit of kind of luster, just a little extra sparkle to have the beautiful little ribboning in effect, and also the sweetness of the carrots I think is going to
Right.
kind of offset
Carrots
the,
also
the
making a
strong
comeback.
flavors.
I've been seeing on social media.
And then last but not least, okay, we do still have some
Okay, turn
little
that
red onions, and I think
over.
the red onion is great for this because it's also got a slightly sweeter profile.
Yeah.
But you know what you like, so balance it out. Got a beautiful, beautiful fresh tomato to add again a little
that
bit
your
of
last
balance.
one?
And
This
then
chicken's
I'm gonna
not gonna be
finish it off.
done.
How's it looking?
It's looking good.
There we go. And then just a little bit of red onion. And we are ticking
Yes.
every box. And then what I love about our dressing, I'm just trying not to have onion hands when Stephen Kitsoff arrives. And then I've got to shake his hand with onion hands.
I'm sure you won't mind.
I love that. So we've got our beautiful yogurt dressing here that has been infused with a bit of cumin. And I love that. You mentioned obviously the yogurt and curry mix is a
The
beautiful kind of
mixture.
counterbalance. That cumin's just going to give it a headiness, a spiciness that I think is going to bring the curry notes to life. So once that's done, it'll be popped on this and we are done. That's literally less
it.
than 3 minutes to create a beautiful and
Delicious.
spicy salad. There you can see it in all its glory, and we'll wrap this up in just a moment. I mentioned Stephen Kitsoff being in the house. If you've got any questions, we're going to be catching up with him after
exciting.
making a massive, massive decision in his career. And I'm most excited about what's next. I want to plug into that big rugby brain and that beautiful heart and find out how he's doing, man. Cannot wait.
Very much looking forward to that. Stephen, I'm going to continue making this for you, all right?
So if you've got any questions, you can hit us up on the socials, and we will see you to complete our tikka chicken salad
Yum.
in just a moment. That smells amazing, girl. Well done. All right, we'll see you now.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh man, it's such good times this morning here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. As always, actually, because whenever we meet up with you, it's a celebration, okay? And today, Mzansi, we get to celebrate yet another king that is taking the music industry by storm. A self-taught musician that is honestly showing us what it means to be young, but still taking over. All My Life was one of the big things that shot him up through the roof, and the whole entire country and the continent took note and said, hey, who is this king over here, Umawelele? And then they found out even more when we heard about his highly anticipated album called Time, and that is the one we are so excited to hear about. Everyone, please just give him a feel-good welcome. A three-time Metro Award, or rather Metro Fair Music Award nominated king, Mawelele. How are you, King?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Susan?
I'm amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
3 times nominated MMAs. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling great, man.
Yeah.
It is a great opportunity. Yeah, the work we're doing is like being seen by the people, so I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy for you, Buti. I mean, after All My Life, now there's just a whole lot more that's happening in your life.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, it is none other than that album that we've all been waiting for, Time. Talk to us about it. Why did you decide to name it Time, and what does that actually mean to you, that title?
More than anything, this title is a definition of my life as a whole, because I'm a person who believes esikhathini. I feel like time directs everything in life.
Sure.
And it was just me trying to tell people, would say, this is my time and I'm here to do it. And it's right now, yeah. So, yeah.
So young, yet so wise.
Yeah.
I'm a fan, okay, Mawelele. I love your work, and I feel like there's just been so much that's going on, you know, and you even as an artist have been evolving. But talk to us about just the process of coming together with a whole lot of people to make this album happen. How did that creative process actually evolve on its own?
I always make music. I always make music in Sekai.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe we sing Gomez Pume on this album is songs that most of them we did 2023.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So music Auboli, and then now it was like this is the right time. We just keep playing Gomez Ganjena. So yeah, everything just goes around time. Yeah.
I love that music doesn't rot sana. That is so beautiful and so true. A lot of it only gets better with time.
Yeah, of course.
And this is why I have to ask you about some of the tracks on the album. Talk to us about the sound. Talk to us about what exactly it is that you wanted people to hear when they listen to this beautiful album.
Okay, so Time is like a mix of R&B and Afro pop. There's dance there. So yeah, man, I'm just trying to put out there a message of love, telling people so more than anything, I'm just a person who's doing R&B in Esule, and then mixing it with Afro pop there and there. So yeah.
And you're killing it, but
Thank you so much.
this is why you're nominated 3 times at the Metro Fair Music Awards. And I really have to ask, because I mean, we even had one of the SABC bosses here, and he was talking about how after people win awards and things like that, they change their rate cards and all these things. For me, even a nomination, I can change my rate card. Have you guys changed rate cards?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yet. We need to get it home first.
I love that. And talk to me just about, you know, yes, you said it means that people are seeing the work. But what does this specific nod from the industry even mean to you? What exactly does it really say to that Mawelele who started all those years ago teaching himself music?
It's something crazy to believe. But to me, it's a motivation more than anything, which I need to keep on going harder. Because they tend to relax and feel like they are there already. But I feel like I'm going for the stars, man. I need to go as high as I can.
I love
so this is just the beginning for me, yeah.
Come on, and speaking of going for the stars, we have to put star before we start voting for you. So talk to us, how can we vote for you, my brother?
Okay, so it's gonna be star 120 star 45787 hash.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So for best R&B song.
Yeah.
For best newcomer.
Yeah.
And best African pop song. So
yeah. You wanted all the awards when I'm a brother.
Yeah, we need all of them home. Please, my people.
I love that. And actually, into the camera, tell Mzansi why they should vote for you. Tell them what's the reason.
Guys, please vote for your boy, Mawelele, of course. Because I'm about to give you all great music. Nothing but great music. So yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And of course, with the Time album, I feel like we are even getting to experience you in a whole different way.
Yeah.
You know, talk to me about some of your favorite songs on the album that we should look forward to.
So far my favorite song with album is like Kangaroo. Yeah, it's a song, Jay. It's just a crazy concept. Umuntu angayibuza ukuthi, why would you name a song Kangaroo?
Yes.
But then the funny story is that the song was written by my father. He told me the concept. He was like, how about you write a song about a kangaroo ukuthi ifake umntwanayo on the chest when it like protects the child. I was like, oh, this is great. So I'm singing the songs ukuvikela uzohlala esifubeni sami. Yeah, so yeah.
That is so sweet. Are you and your dad close?
Yo, very, very close.
That is adorable.
It's my time, my man.
Oh, come on, Daddy. And are you going to give him some of the money from the song?
Of course, he needs to get something, everything.
I love that. One last thing, Puti, what can we expect from you in 2025? I mean, of course, this beautiful album that we absolutely are proud of you for, but what else can we expect from Mawele?
I'm working on a lot of collaborations. I believe a lot in collaborating.
Yes.
So people should just expect a lot of music from me, Putom Dialo Cuesta, since we also did like the All My Life joint, and they should expect a lot of music from a movement here, Romeo and Juliet. So yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Puti, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So much.
And I can't wait for you to win all 3 of those awards at the Metro Film Music Awards.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Also, yes, I'm a singer. So I will chat about that collaboration since you believe in it. Zanti, do the right thing and vote for this incredible king. You're going to be finding out just how talented he is if you didn't already know when he's going to be performing some of his songs right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show still. So make sure you don't go anywhere. Right about now, though, let's get up to date with what's happening all around the world. Here's the beautiful Carissa with the news headlines.
And perfect timing at that, 7 o'clock on the nose. Perfect time to get into our national news here in South Africa. And the Health Ombud, Professor Tayole Mokoena, has flagged poor management at Johannesburg's Helen Joseph Hospital, citing a lack of senior medical staff in permanent roles, with even the hospital's CEO serving in an acting capacity. And he said weak leadership and missing standard procedures were worsening conditions. Last year, broadcaster Thomas Holmes, known as Tom London, shared videos online about poor treatment at that hospital. However, Mokoena found no evidence supporting his claims, stating Holmes was visited and examined daily by medical staff during his stay there. Then, staying with South African news, President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa's agricultural sector is primed for investment, given its growth potential. In his weekly letter, he emphasized its role in food security and exports while acknowledging challenges. And he noted progress in improving rail, port, road and water infrastructure to support the sector. However, he stressed that sustainable agriculture depends on land ownership, and he called for black farmers' inclusion in commercial farming, urging rather the land bank and financiers to provide capital and organized agriculture to offer training in critical areas. Now, casting a wiser gaze, the Trump administration has announced the cancellation of 83% of U.S. aid programs, aligning with its, quote, America First policies. Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirmed that the remaining 1,000 programs will be handled by the State Department. And critics argue that slashing humanitarian aid will harm millions now in over 120 countries, particularly in health and emergency sectors. And while some, including Elon Musk, support the cuts, aid groups warn that this decision could destabilize regions and undermine U.S. global interests. Rubio said the U.S. would continue to reevaluate foreign aid spending. Now, perhaps this next story gives you an idea of where they do want to spend. The United States is open to exploring critical minerals partnerships with the Democratic Republic of Congo. This following a proposal by a Congolese senator. Rich in cobalt, lithium and uranium, the DRC has been grappling with Rwanda-backed M23 rebels. And the U.S. State Department expressed interest in partnerships aligned with the America First agenda, highlighting Congo's key role in the global mineral markets. While Congo seeks diversified partnerships, a government spokesperson, Patrick Muyaya, emphasized the openness to U.S. investment in the DRC's abundant mineral reserves. And then South African entrepreneur and environmentalist Thandisile Fatjela is changing lives through sustainability. His story is featured in the Of the Future film series, which will be shown at the incredible Johannesburg Film Festival. And that's from tomorrow up until this Sunday. Produced by Vox Creative and the European Union, the short film highlights how Fatjela's work tackles environmental challenges while creating jobs and training youth for the green economy. With high unemployment and climate pressures now here in South Africa already being felt, his initiative is giving young people the skills to build a sustainable future. Supported by the EU's climate change program, Fatjela's efforts show how innovation and collaboration can really drive meaningful change. Proof is there on your screen. Well done, Fatjela. Well, on that beautifully positive note, that's where we leave our news headlines. Let's get into the sport. No wrist slapping, it seems, in rugby. Let's start with the Six Nations, and no Irish players facing a Six Nations disciplinary hearing despite France's request following Antoine Dupont's knee injury, and a nightmare knee injury at that. So the French captain tore his cruciate ligaments in a ruck collision with Tag Byrne and Andrew Porter, and that was during France's 42-27 demolition in Dublin. Dupont confirms that he will be sidelined for several months as a result, so a major blow. Then we bring it back home for footballing news. Eric Tinkler has officially been named Sekhukhune United's new head coach, replacing Lehlonolo Siema. So he debuts on Wednesday against Marumo Gallants in Bloemfontein. He's going to have to hit the ground running. Tinkler arrives with his team, Mark van Heerden as assistant, while Paulus Maseche, he stays on, and then Kaitono Tembo, he'll leave the fold. The former Bafana midfielder returns to management, of course, after being sacked by Cape Town City in December. But we wish him all the best in his new tenure. Now let's go a little further afield, but stay with the footballing connection. Nottingham Forest have lost their appeal against a £750,000 fine for a social media post criticising referee Stuart Atwell. So the post, made after their 2-0 loss to Everton last season, accused Atwell of bias due to his ties to relegation rivals Luton. The FA, they upheld the fine, calling it an unparalleled attack on officials, and ordered the post's removal. Now let's stay with more fines in the offing as we turn to cricket. And Cricket South Africa, the CSA, has docked the Alphabet Warriors match points in this case, ruling them out of the One-Day Cup playoffs. So why? Well, a review found that they failed to meet transformation requirements in their 16th of February clash up against the Hollywood Bets Dolphins. So the breach, violating clause 3.2.2 of CSA's administrative conditions, involved not fielding the required number of black African players. So I'm glad that the rule of law has been upheld, but they have been dealt with, and that's where we leave our sport for now. As I did say, Stephen Kitsop has stepped into studio. If you've got any questions about his amazing career, what's coming up for him, I'm sure we've got enough of our own, but if you'd like to have your voice heard, even just send this incredible human being a message, drop us a note on the socials. We'd love to hear from you. Right now, let's get into our Tuesday morning weather.
Oh yes, let's take a look at what's happening with your traffic this morning. Things are looking a little bit hectic, so please make sure you take caution. Starting off in Gauteng, Johannesburg, there's been an accident, unfortunately, involving a truck on the R21 northbound after the R24 OR Tambo Airport. All lanes, rather, are closed. Slow-moving traffic is being experienced, so please avoid the affected area and make use of an alternative route over there. Then in the mother city, delays are expected for motorists along the M5 northbound at the N2 inbound ramp. Maintain a safe following distance, please, and make sure that you stay safe while driving. We want you to get to wherever you're going in one piece. Now, let's take a look at what's happening with your weather. The SA Weather Service has issued a yellow level 2 warning, or rather just a level 2 warning, for severe thunderstorms over central and eastern northwest, Free State and southwestern Gauteng. You can expect heavy downpours, localized flooding, strong winds, excessive lightning, as well as small hail. Disruptive rain can also be expected along the coast from Port Alfred to Port Edward, which may lead to flooding from Thursday into Friday. Foggy patches will affect parts of the west coast, KZN, Eastern Cape, as well as the Western Cape. Meanwhile, extreme heat due to berg winds is expected over the western interior of Western Cape and the Northern Cape. Make sure you take caution when need be, please. And one thing I always ask you to do is also come through for that sunrise view. It rhymes, so it must be true. A very big shout out this morning to Ilana from Durbanville, where it's going to be a delicious 26 degrees Celsius. Ilana, this is absolutely gorgeous. I love how I feel like we're on a safari together. Like you snapped the perfect picture, and honestly and truly, it has what I need for a beautiful Tuesday morning. Thank you so much, Ilana and Mzansi. Here's just a little example of what we're looking for. Take a young picture of what your sunrise view is looking like this morning. Send it through 063-408-8863, and we get to show the rest of the country. Right about now, though, let's take a look at what's happening with your temperatures.
So hopefully you have all the info you need to go out there and crush your day. But of course, we've got to get dressed before we leave the house. And Carissa, a little bit earlier in the show, asked for your help to do exactly that. She needed to choose between two elevated winter essential looks. Yes, the seasons are changing. Brace yourself. Get over it. So we had two great options, a timeless look and then something a bit more neutral. And we enjoy both of them. But let's see how you guys are feeling about the looks of the day. Malaysia saying, happy Tuesday, my beautiful family, right back at you. It's raining here this morning. I go with option one. Don't make your problems our problems, okay? But we'll do that. Option one, I like. And stay indoors and stay cozy. Thank you for that. Geraldine saying, oh, definitely, I choose option one for Carissa on this beautiful Tuesday morning. It would look gorgeous on her. I agree with you. Option one is starting to get its nose out in front. Marlene saying, number one, love it. Enough said. Let's see if we can squeeze in one more confirmation. Oh, it's done. Arlene has sealed the deal. Option one, have a blessed day, Expresso family. Have a blessed day to you. Everyone who sent a message, thank you so much. I think your taste is impeccable, but shall we see if it lands just as beautifully? Dun, dun, dun. Watch out.
Yes, it landed. It landed so well.
I love it.
The Parisian look.
There
we
go.
brought it to South Africa. It is classic, like Gray said, definitely an essential when it comes to autumn, winter. And it's got that transitional feel because a little bit of the skin showing on the loafers, a little bit of the skin showing on the boatline neckline. And it's just absolutely
And there is a little bit of a nautical vibe. There's something really cute about that. I love the styling on the shoes. But it looks ready for action, for stuff.
Yes, whether it is a brunch, whether you are grabbing your groceries for the week, or whether you're just having a little date for yourself or you and your mans, like this is just the perfect outfit to go anywhere. Throw on a pair of heels and now we're into the night.
There you go, a trench or something.
A trench, oh my goodness,
you are sorted for season. Absolutely love it. Y'all, you know what you're talking about. Thank you so much. Absolutely on the money. Less effort, more style.
Like
and this is exactly how it comes together. Cold weather chic starts with Woolworths. They've got you covered. Shop elevated season essentials in-store, online, or using their amazing app. They've got some great little capsules there for you to explore as well. You look gorgeous, my friends.
Thank you.
I'm so glad because we have a gorgeous human being stepping into studio. Feeling a little emotional about this one. If I'm feeling that, I would imagine Stephen Kitsoff is feeling all kinds of emotion about the new phase in his career. Cannot wait to connect with our multiple World Cup winning gem, Stephen Kitsoff. And if you've got any questions, let us know.
Yeah, very much excited for that. And then also, We've got 3-time Mama Award nominated Mawelele is going to be standing by performing Naledi for us. So very much looking forward to this. It's going to be such a fantastic Tuesday. You thought that we reached the peak with this outfit, but we're about to get better.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Ah, welcome back.
There's one thing to say. Can I do it?
Go for it.
Go Sports! Okay, this morning we're joined by the incredible Stormers and Springbok legend, Stephen Kitsoff. It's going to be such an incredible conversation as he reflects on his illustrious career since hanging up his boots, now sharing his unforgettable moments with us and the incredible impact he's had on the game, both on but also off the field. We're going to get into all those details, but before we even start the conversation with Kitsi himself, let's get this out the way. Let's have a look.
Stephen Kitsoff, he's a little teddy bear. He's one of my very good friends.
Ek en Kitsie het saam begin speel, actually op skool al. Ek was matriek, hy was graad 11. Skrywenweek, eerste keer dat Skrywenweek gewen het en baie lank dink ek.
Meeting him the first time, I think it was around 2010. He was still in high school and scrummed against him. I was in the under-19 team. And I thought, yo, what a beast. He was a bit awkward back then, very shy.
I met him, he was still 18 years old. I remember that first day he got into the gym and there wasn't big enough dumbbells for him to press. So I was like, yes, this kid is strong and quiet. So yeah, I think that was probably my first impressions is, yes, this kid is going to be one of the big ones for South Africa.
As he grew up, we became closer, and yeah, I think our friendship grew. You see what a good man he is, what a team man he is. Very selfless guy. Yeah, will do anything for the betterment of the team.
He's this intense competitor when he's on the field, but as soon as he gets off the field, it just changes into that very chilled, mannered guy who just actually wants to give love. He cares really deeply for all his teammates and for his friends, and I've been lucky to form a fearsome partnership.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, can we get a round of applause? Oh, buddy, I'm sorry that we did that to you, man. And I'm really glad as well, because I think to understand the impact that you've made, we can only look into the eyes of the players around you, buddy. How are you feeling at this crazy, I would imagine, absolutely amazing but crazy watershed moment in your life? How are you doing, bro?
I mean, that video is another emotional start to my day, but no, I think just reflecting a bit back on my career, I mean, I was so blessed to be part of such incredible teams. I mean, if you think about the games I played for the Springboks, how well the Stormers have been doing the last couple of years, actually managing to captain them and lead them from the front. So no, I'm just truly blessed and just very happy with where I am in my career and where I was in my career. So looking forward to the next step.
Sure. Can I ask you, though, it's going to be a tough one, but if you look back at your career, are there any moments that really stand out for you, whether it's on or off the field? I'm curious from your perspective, what's been a highlight?
Yeah, I think it's mainly like the trophies we won.
Yeah.
I think both those World Cups in 2019 and 23 were incredible moments, but I think probably what put the cherry on the cake was the URC win. Going from a Stormers outfit that's almost had to close their doors because of internal issues, coming back as a group of players and actually performing and playing well and getting to a point where we actually get a home final and end up winning the thing. I think those moments you cherish, and those are the things that stick with me even through like tough times now. It's like thinking back and like, flip it, that was...
You've done it.
Unreal. There was unreal moments in my career and that no one can take away from me. So, yeah, that's special.
And so many of these moments are peaks that very few others will ever get to even realize. And I suppose there are certain privileges within that get earned, like the privilege of walking out onto that field at Newlands. When you feel that, when you feel the guys that you've grown up in the same circles with, it's your community, you can connect those dots. I grew up there, now I'm here. What is that feeling like?
Yeah, I think playing in Cape Town and representing Western Province from youth levels all the way through till matric and then into the senior squad. There's faces you've been seeing in the crowd for years on end, sitting in the same seats, and you know these guys have been supporting you from day one. Those things are special, and like playing at DHL Stadium, it's just such a magical place at the moment, because when the Stormers play there, there's 30,000.
It's like an international,
Yeah, 30,000 plus people coming out, supporting you, bringing their family of four, paying for their ticket, and actually just want to be entertained by a great brand of rugby that the Stormers have been producing the last couple of years. So, no, it's just amazing just being part of such a awesome community, as you said, and being part of such a great team with management and higher level staff, like just representing, doing as best we can, and hopefully putting a smile on a fan's face.
Yes,
it really does take a village in that space.
It
really
does. When you think about your growth being a player, like from day one, I mean, a couple of them mentioned that you started with them in high school to where you are now. When you think about that growth, are you also taken aback with the path that you even went on?
Did you think you would be this good?
No, geez, I saw John de Villiers over the weekend, so they had the Citadel experience then. At Blair Ethel, and he always comments when he speaks about me, is like, when I arrived at the Stormers, I had 18 words a week.
Sure.
That was my
That was your quota.
That was my quota of words that I spoke, and I was always this shy.
Yeah.
Always had a big smile on my face. Always just enjoyed the moment. But I think as my rugby career went on, I became more confident in leading teams, being the front man, almost being the face of the team. And I think that's where I probably saw the most growth. As went from the shy 18-year-old red-eyed kid coming into a very professional environment to becoming a seriously good player and captain in that squad.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the growth that I really have to thank rugby for, because that's made me who I am today.
Right.
Also, it's a responsibility you took on board to become that leader within those teams, often not
Yeah.
asked. It had to happen, and you did it. Yes or no answer, are you the strongest Springbok? Because every other Springbok says you're the strongest Springbok. Please just say yes, man.
Unapologetically.
Yeah, like bit of a longer answer, but I think I used to be, but I've lost that status recently.
And that only happened 2 weeks ago.
Exactly,
Only 2 weeks ago. Up until that point, he was, and he will always remain. Now, there's a kind of strength in this space that goes far beyond the physical, and I think that's what's been proven over the years. And also a turn of pace, a little bit of speed that I think's caught in a few backline players napping. Stephen Kitshoff is not going anywhere. If you've got any comments, if you've got any questions, we're going to continue our chat with this absolute rugby legend in just a moment. Stick around.
Oh, guys, please don't forget to tell Stephen that I say hi, and I'm so proud of him. Oh, my goodness. This is exactly the kind of show we deserve on a Tuesday, Mzansi. One that encompasses celebrating all of the beautiful talents we have in this country. And one such person that is helping us do so today is Mawelele. His brand new album is out. It is called Time. And my friend, here we are. We're getting a little bit of a taste of it. Here is a brand new track called Naledi, featuring Naledi Aphiwe. Everybody, let's give it up for the king.
Ninjabula when uletha ukuthula sebefike bonke bakhuluma when isithando sami wintokozo yami.
He's 3-time MMA nominated. Honey, he's not going anywhere. It's Mawelele in the building right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. And still coming up, we got so much to get into. Even the power of nutrition and self-love with Tracy Lee. She's going to be letting us in on that. And then, of course, our hero that is in the building, Stephen Kitsoff. He's going to be reflecting on his neck injury. My friend, do not go anywhere because I always tell you there's still so much more to come. We'll be back after this.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast show.
Welcome back. We are with two-time World Cup winning Springbok Stephen Kitsoff, who just, exactly 2 weeks ago, in fact, announced his retirement and the start of a very amazing new chapter in his incredible life. And he is here with us this morning. So we put it to you guys to pose any questions, and a couple have come through. So I'm going to jump right on this if you don't mind. It looks all safe. I would imagine nothing too emotional, but a little bit of emotion is going to be okay. Portia Mapundi wrote in saying, what's your take on the current state of South African rugby, and where do you see the team headed in the future? Wow, she's weighing in with some heavy hitters. But how do you feel? Because it does feel like we're in a special place right now, man.
Yeah, I think South African rugby is in a great space. I think just with, if you check the alignment camp that's coming up, or this, I think it's this week, just the amount of numbers that Rassie actually brought into the camp. So you can see there's future planning, there's succession planning, and it's actually trying to generate a group of, say, 100 players that could easily fit into the Springbok mold. So you can see there's a clear picture, and you can see there's a clear path forward for where South African rugby wants to be. So I think it's in a special place. I think the teams are playing well. Here and there, result not going away, but I think overall South African rugby is in
a
great
good place. Yeah, the move to the Northern Hemisphere seems to have done all the right kind of things. And I think it matters for the players to see that. They must see how they can get there to that Springbok setup and what that strategy is. I love that. This is the best question ever coming in here. Do you have any hidden talents other than bench pressing, which is not so hidden anymore?
When I was younger, I used to be very good at wakeboarding, but
really.
But yeah, as the body got older, I think I try to keep the boat a bit slower and just try and enjoy myself. But yeah, I think for a guy who weighs 130 kilos every now and then,
the transferal of energy. I'm thinking I'd like to know the physics that's involved with that. I love that. Then Carol Harris wrote in, are you going to to coach and cope? We hope to see you around Roy Koppie.
Yeah.
I mean, that was going to be one of my questions. You're sitting with critical knowledge here, knowledge that needs in the tight, knowledge about scrumming, knowledge about open play, knowledge about the pinnacle of the sport. Are you going to pour back in?
No, I think so. The rugby's been so special to me. Like, it's been such a big part of my adult life, and I would love to just transfer that knowledge somehow. I can't see myself going into full-time head coach. I think
who wants that stress?
I think I've stressed enough in my rugby career, but I think there is a place for me in either a Stormer setup or a schooling setup where I can give knowledge and consult and mentor players. I think that's more of a role I see for myself, and trying to develop youngsters into something special.
A continuation of what you've been doing in the fold. So I don't think that's going to stop, whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. People are going to be phoning you every day for advice. I think it's going to happen. Who do you phone for advice when you had to make this decision? Talk me through that process. Obviously, Amy is in your corner all the time, so I would imagine she had a major role to play in this. Did you phone any other players to get some kind of understanding of how to approach this? Because it is a big decision, man.
Yeah, I've been between my folks, Amy's folks, the specialist, the doctor that operated on me. I got a lot of information about what they think was the best, but I never really felt like it's becoming my decision. So I actually phoned Julian Relinga. He's ex-Springbok and forwards coach of the Lions, and he went through a similar thing. He also broke his neck, was forced into retirement, early retirement due to it. So probably the one question I did ask him is how did you come to that decision?
Get to that point. Yeah.
And his answer was clear. It was listen, I just had to think about my family, and I had to think about the next 40 years of my life. How can your next 40 years equate to maybe playing another 2-3 years? How can you make that decision? And it actually made it very clear for me that
it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer to pick safety and health over another couple of years.
And as you say this, and I can feel this energy in this entire space, you're not expendable, you're not disposable, it's your body. So how are you doing? How do you feel within yourself right now, man?
Yeah, neck's a bit tight and mobility's a bit low, but otherwise I'm actually feeling all right. I think the aches and pains probably going to come at a later stage, but I started getting back into the gym slowly, just trying to keep my fitness back up. But otherwise, I'm actually feeling fine. Golf swing's looking good, so.
I could feel the swag before you even said that. I knew you were going to talk about golf as that tone kind of kicked in. You're going to have the time now to do a few things by choice, and I don't think a huge amount, as much as you are all in with every day that you do the rugby thing. You have life now. You have an opportunity to go out there and do some stuff that you might have put on a back burner. What does that look like for you? What are you most excited about now?
I think it was just the couple of business projects and opportunities I actually created while I was playing rugby, because rugby did take a big part of my life. It took a lot of hours out of my day, but I think something that's truly exciting me at the moment is having that transfer from full-time rugby player into hopefully successful businessman, and that actually gets me out of bed and excited in the mornings, because trying to create your own schedule, trying to create meetings, those things is unknown for me. So it's becoming part of my daily life, and actually it excites me in that I feel that rush again from closing a deal or seeing a new client and possibly talking about something new. And that's creating a lot of excitement for me at the moment.
And for us as well, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of you over this next year. Well, we're going to see a lot of him over the next hour because we're not going to let you leave. We're going to make you cook. We're going to make you play some game. Carissa is on a mission to learn sports, and she's going to put us both to the test in just a moment. But I'm going to say this more to myself than to you. It's okay to grieve. It's all right to be emotional, and it's all right because everyone is feeling that. So I'm so sorry we're dumping all of our emotions on you.
Right.
But you can't play a career like this and not expect this kind of reaction. So please continue to share the love. We've got Stephen Kitsoff with us here talking about the next phase of what sounds like the most amazing phase of his career, but we're not letting him go anywhere. So if you've got any questions, send them our way.
Well, if you are feeling a little bit down, here's something to lift your spirits. I want you to play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 76 million rand, and that is in total estimated jackpots this Tuesday. Now, that could definitely make it rain lots of cash this March. Play Powerball for an estimated 43 million rand, and then you get Powerball Plus for an estimated 33 million rand today. Now, don't get left behind. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za. That's the website you can use. And if you are on your phone, there are a couple of options. There's the mobile app, there is cell phone banking, or simply just dial *120 *7529 hash, and that is for USSD. Now, of course, you posted all of this on our social media pages, so while you pop Stephen a message, make sure that you put yourself in the running to Panda Pusher play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 76 million rand, and that is in total estimated jackpots today. And let me tell you that you could just win big. My fingers are crossed, my toes are crossed for you, and I'm sending you all the good vibes. And while you receive that, let me tell you what's still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're going to be heading back into the kitchen to make some delicious meat-free meatballs in a delicious red sauce. Yes, I'm talking about protein in a different form. It's all about those black beans. It's definitely going to be something you want to add to your recipe list. And then not only that, we're going to pump you up with some self-love given to you by Tracy Lee Lusty, an absolutely inspirational woman. Her story is one that definitely is going to go down in the history books. So stick around to find out more about that.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Good morning and welcome back to Expresso. Now, we've got two incredible guests joining us on the couch today. I'm very excited to bring back Laura Johnston, CEO of Phytoceutics and an integrative nutritional health coach. And then we have the gorgeous Tracy Lee Lusty, CEO of Self Love, an attorney and a bariatric surgery champion, and soon to be, listen to this, full-time Ironman competitor. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you
so
so
much
much
for being here. Tracy, I got to start with you. I mean, your journey has been nothing short of inspiring. If people follow you online or hear of your journey, they go, okay, tell me a bit more about this and also the transformation that took place. But let's talk about where the journey came from for you, the inspiration to even get into it in the first place.
Obesity caught up with me.
Yeah.
I really was suffering. Towards the end of 2022, I made the decision that I wanted to educate myself about what bariatric surgery really was, what obesity as a disease really was. And it was a life-saving, life-changing surgery, and I basically started my Ironman journey 7 weeks post-op, and now we are 4 weeks out from finally, hopefully, we will cross that finish line and achieve the ultimate dream.
Okay, wait, so just quickly, had you always had the ambition to go after this and maybe your weight was holding you back? Because 7 weeks post-op is crazy.
So I always tell the story that I was wheeled out of theatre and I opened my eyes and I looked up at the anaesthetist or the surgeon and I said, I'm going to be an Ironman.
Oh my goodness.
And he said, let's just get you walking first.
Right.
So it really has been the dream. I think I've always had an athlete mindset. I think that's quite obvious from, you know, starting fitness school, you know, 8-9 years ago. It has always felt like I have been held back. And I feel like for the first time over the last 2 years, I've finally been able to really encompass fitness school, my business, what it really means to be fitness school. So it's really been, like I said, life-changing and the best 2 years of my life.
Yeah, but I love that we've been on that journey from day one to where we are now, because fitness looks different on everybody.
100%.
But now when it comes to your supplements and your dietary requirements, I know that has shifted quite a bit. So what are some of these adjustments that you've made?
Thankfully, we have amazing companies and brands that provide the most incredible supplements. So I'm on quite the protocol. We've got vitamin D, we've got vitamin B, we've got iron, we've got magnesium, we've got multivitamins. So it's really great to be able to have a brand that supports that as well. But yes, especially now, you know, not only as a post-bariatric patient, there's quite a large protocol, but you know, with the training as well, you know, we really have to up that as well to remain not only healthy as a post-op bariatric patient, but also as an athlete.
When it comes to people with maybe a higher demand for supplements and nutrition, like Tracy, for example, I mean, what really goes into this from your standpoint?
So I think when you've had a surgery like bariatric surgery, your surface area for absorption is much smaller. So you really need to get more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
So things like liposomal supplements that enhance bioavailability and utilization for your body are incredibly important. We've also got phytomist sprays, which are vitamin sprays that you spray directly in your mouth.
Oh, wow.
And the benefit of that is that it's absorbed by the oral mucosa, so it doesn't have to go through this digestive system. So, you know, it's easier absorption and it tastes delicious as well.
Oh, I like that, because some of them were like, oh, brace yourself before we dive into this. I love that. And for maybe people who aren't athletes, I mean, are the same sort of supplements available, or is that just specifically for people like Tracy?
Yeah, so I think today with, you know, modern diets, stress, fast-paced lifestyles, you don't always get the right amount of nutrients you need. The nutritional quality of food maybe isn't ideal.
Right.
So we always say start with a blood test. You don't want to be supplementing just, you know, for fun. And see what you're deficient in and then find a high-quality nutraceutical or supplement brand that can help mitigate these shortfalls.
I love that, because not all supplements were created equal. No. We got to put that out there and understand that. What's happening now when it comes to diet and supplements? I mean, your daily activities, what is it looking like? Have we upped the game?
If I look at my training hours for last week, I think we just hit under 20 hours of training for last week.
My goodness.
So it's about 3-4 hours a day of training, double sessions, which really does mean that specifically something like vitamin B, for example, I actually spoke to my endocrinologist about 2 weeks ago, and he said, look, in this period, let's up the vitamin B. So things like that are really, really important. So things do shift, I think, as we put more and more load on load in our training, load on our bodies. We are going to, especially someone like myself, is going to need just a little bit more supplementation than maybe the average person.
Right.
Coming off 200 Ks of cycling this weekend, so body is feeling good, body's strong, dialing in nicely, and I think we're going to be ready for race day.
Well, you're looking good, you're glowing, you're alive. That's what's important.
Exactly.
Do you have rest days?
I do have rest days. It is important to have one rest day. So we normally have our rest day on a Sunday, which is great. It's a nice time to connect with family again and because the training takes up a lot of our time. So
Yeah.
it is important to still keep that balance as well, obviously.
Right, it is a commitment and one that you've made. Laura, I gotta ask you, for people that want to optimize their health, maybe not to the extent that Tracy has, but maybe one day there could be somebody aspiring to reach those heights. What would you say to them maybe as a starting point?
If you come into the new year and you're struggling with your gut or you're struggling with your energy levels, then that's a good starting point. I'd also say address one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And then you can really see if adding something in or changing something makes a big difference.
Sure, I love that. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. Definitely inspired, and I know you are too, Expresso fam, with the valuable insights that they've provided. And thank you, ladies, so much. I hope to have you back once you're done in these 4 weeks so that you can report back on how it all went. But we'll definitely be cheering you on from the sidelines. We'll get our invitation and we will be there for the full Ironman. And for those of you at home looking to upgrade your health and also your wellness, please be sure to check out Phytoceutics and their incredible range of supplements.
Optimize your gut health with Phytoceutics range of pre, pro, and postbiotics. Use code EXPRESSO for 15% off at phytoceutics.com.
So we have proven that already on the show that Stephen Kitsoff can handle himself in the kitchen. So we're giving him the advanced stuff. He is going to be rolling our meatballs that have no meat in them. It might sound a little bit crazy, but meat-free dishes just got a whole lot tastier. These black bean meatballs in a rich tomato sauce are a hearty, flavor-packed alternative to the traditional meatballs, obviously. Perfect for those looking to enjoy a delicious protein-rich meal without the meat. I can see by your face you're judging already, dude.
I was expecting like a nice farmhouse breakfast.
No, that's done. Only for active players, bro. I told you, man. I told you. It's going to get tough out these streets.
So you're telling me I need to look after this body now.
The chefs are telling you, you're going to have to, dude. So I am going to put you on mashing duty here so we can swap places. Meat-free, do you ever go into that meat-free space? Would it take a lot to convince you to take the lead?
It would take a lot of convincing to get me into this space.
Well, let's see if
I'm excited to try it.
And you've got to push the boat out. So, my friend, you are going to be on mashing duty. As I said, we've got our black beans, we've got some breadcrumbs to help bind it together, and then a nice little mix of spices, some cumin, some paprika in there, and yeah, easy peasy. So put it all in the bowl and start mashing, boo. It's as easy as that. And then I'm going to get going on our sauce here. Have you found that obviously now that the output has changed, I know you can joke about your nutritional needs, but I would imagine it must look very different now to what it used to. Have you had to kind of adjust your mindset when it comes to what you're eating and how you're approaching that?
I think it's purely based on volume. I think what I ate in a normal day-to-day setting was high calories, high protein, try to get a lot of fuel into my body. But since I've been injured, like trying to cut down on that, making sure I don't pick up too much weight quickly. So it has adjusted. It has adjusted my mindset, how much I actually consume on a daily basis. So
how much would you consume on a heavy training day?
Probably close to 4,500 calories, just to try and get
just to get you through the day. Unbelievable. Okay, so lest we forget, we've got our onions on the go. I'm going to actually mix in our spices first. A little bit of paprika. We've got a little bit of tomato paste going in there as well. Some mixed herbs. We shall mix in our secret ingredient, our garlic powder, and our tomato. And this is a stock tomato sauce that just goes so well with absolutely everything. So it's always good having it. How's it going with your mashing? You can use the masher if you want. Hey, I know you trying to show that a prop does have finesse and a slight touch. Work out those frustrations, man. There we go, and it's as simple as that. If you want to wet the sauce a little bit more, add a bit more moisture. There we go, and we just want this to cook down and reduce. And there we have it, a little bit of salt and pepper. And now you can mix in the breadcrumbs and our salt and pepper, mash it up a little bit more, and then we can roll it into balls and add it to our sauce. As simple as that. Have you thought about what is going to replace the rugby? When you get out there and you need to now get those quiet moments, and I know golf is probably going to play a pretty dominant role. What do you see yourself getting into physically now that you've got the free time?
Yeah, I think probably like some sort of boxing training, and I've always enjoyed like gym training my body, like doing a bit of like running. So hopefully like stay fit in that way, like trying to release some energy in the gym. But I don't think you'll get that that massive output I put on a rugby field for 80 minutes. It's gonna be a different story.
Yeah, no, well, one day of sparring a week is fine. It's all right. And now the spices are going in, and we'll start rolling these into balls, and it's as simple as that. That gets popped into your tomato sauce for about 20 minutes is all you need, and then you are sitting with absolutely delicious meat-free meatballs in a beautiful tomato sauce. Well done, dude. Perfect consistency. I like making you do things that you have never done before.
Exactly.
You see, even at your stage in your career, there are still firsts to be had. Well, we're going to do a little bit of a test. Both Kitsy and I are going to be put through our paces with some rugby terminology. I hope it's not going to be too tough. You can play along after this. We'll see you now. Now grab it and roll, man.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah!
This week on Color Your Plate with Cool, we're looking for our contestants to impress us with their decadent desserts.
The pressure is definitely getting worse.
This is a bit challenging for me, but I trust myself.
This is my last try. I'm going to give it my best shot.
The suspense is killing me.
The clock is ticking away. Let's go!
Wow, that's all I'm going to see. That's Color Your Plate with Cool, Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on SABC2.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
And welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. All right, let's dive straight into the action with a rugby jargon quiz. That's the official name we're going to give it. Stephen Kitsop is still in the building and goes head-to-head with Graham Richards, racing against the clock to decode quirky rugby terms. I'm just going to go ahead and call it that. Now, you'll have to shout out your name in order to answer first. I'm going to be honest. I have zero idea what any of these
Well, think of it as a workshop, a little mini workshop. I like
So hopefully you'll provide me with the right answers.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. The first one we'll start off with is, what is a grabber kick? Is it A, a high long kick, B, a short low kick that bounces along the ground? Yes, Kitsy?
It's B.
It's B. I didn't even get to see
I didn't even give the rules. Okay, but that was really slick. That was really, really quick. Yes, I
Okay, well, we're going with B. We said go easy on him, though. And the answer is B, a short, low kick that bounces along the ground. Well done. 1 point to Kitsy, 0 points to Mr. G-Man. All right.
Often underutilized by the front row. But
also can execute well.
perfectly.
Okay, I like that. You're trying to, okay, half a point maybe, Gray. What does it mean to carry the ball up? A, running backwards with the ball, B, running towards the opponent's try line, or C, passing the ball to a teammate?
Kitsy?
Kitsy?
B.
B? Could it be? Graham, do you want to
I
counter that?
definitely would concur.
Let's see what the right answer is. And dun-dun-dun-dun. It is B. Kitsy with 2 points, Graham with 0. But you know what? Because you concurred, you now have 1 point, considering the half a point from before. Okay.
A concurrence point.
A concurrence point. Okay. I've heard this term. Don't know what it is though. A scrum half. It's when the boys get together. I think a player who kicks for a goal. B, the player who feeds the ball into the scrum and links the forwards with the backs. Who said
now
that?
that I know
Graham,
we can do
Graham,
it.
tell me.
I doubt he's going to say my name. I'm going to go with B.
You're going to go with B?
Yeah.
You would concur?
Yeah.
Okay, and the answer is B. That was a long sentence to get through.
Yeah, well, it's a long job for a scrummy, for the shortest player on the field, funny enough. Yeah.
All right, let's get into clearing a ruck, passing the ball to the fullback, a forward driving ball to the try line, or removing the ball from the ruck quietly after, very
Kitsy.
quietly. See?
C.
Oh, it is the quiet one. Removing the ball quietly.
You can do it quietly if you
After
want,
it
I
has been
suppose.
contested. Well done. 3 points to Kitsy, 2 points to Graham.
I'm just seeing you.
Yeah, guys.
Quiet. Okay, what does a line out refer to? A form of restart after a knock-on, a way to contest a high ball from a kick, or a throw into restart play when the ball has gone into touch.
C.
Kitsy goes with C. Could it be? And the answer is C.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well done. 4 points to you.
You know when the players give each other a wedgie and they're like,
yeah.
Yes, I've seen that.
That's
Okay, that's a line out. Okay, a dummy pass. Could this be a fake pass used to mislead a defender? I mean, that seems quite obvious. A pass that goes behind the player's head, or a pass that's intentionally inaccurate?
I'm going to say...
Carissa, A.
Yes.
Yes, I was going to say, but actually, the only person who can answer this is a front row forward. Okay, the only true exponent of a dummy is a front row forward. I'm sorry.
Well done to Carissa. She got 1 point. Oh, she's brilliant. Who's that? Oh, my goodness. One more question. What is a sin bin? I'm not even going to give you an answer. I mean, okay. A special tactic.
A penalty
Used
where a
for
player is temporarily sent off for.
Well, there you go.
How many times
I'm
have you been sinned
in
in your
anticipation,
career?
give you
Twice.
well done. Kitty,
You really is the nicest guy in rugby.
Carissa 1. Well done. Now, before we wrap it up, we have to, of course, end this with a bang, which only means that we've got to give Kitty the winner.
Dun, dun, dun.
And also, the legend that you are deserves a prize. So bring in our prize bringer.
Dun, dun, dun. Thank you, Nikki. Next.
Graham, you can go ahead and do this. I'll prep for
Oh,
Nikki.
wow. I want to see what's in it. Oh, you are actually getting something for rolling your meat-free meatballs this morning. There we go. Just a little something to say thank you.
Thank you very
from
much.
us. And there is a real animal protein in there as well. Buddy, we love you, man. Thank you so much for being here. I have a feeling we're going to see you making moves in all sorts of places. I look forward to having you here weekly, whether it's for a fitness segment, a boxing segment, an entrepreneurship segment, a sporting mindset segment. But you've given so much. In fact, there's a sports producing role, I think, opening up on our show as we speak. I can hear Lorenzo laughing in the background. But we absolutely love you. And if I can add to all of the votes of thanks that are coming from a professional side, from my professional side as a broadcaster, you have always had time for us. I don't think you've ever said no, dude, once. For the 1,000 irritating times I've come to ask you questions. So thank you so much, buddy. Congratulations. Can we get another round of applause for this unbelievable human being? Continue to share the love with Stephen Kitsoff. We are going to get into the news and embrace the final hour of the show.
Oh man, it's just gone 8 o'clock. Let's get into that final bit of news for this morning. Now, starting out nationally, the organization Undoing Tax Abuse, or OUTA, has revealed systemic fraud at vehicle testing stations, where unroadworthy vehicles in Gauteng receive certificates from Limpopo or Northwest within 30 minutes. Senior Project Manager Rudy Heinecker calls the fact that no physical inspection was done outright fraud with serious road safety implications. Meanwhile, National Prosecuting Authority Director Shamila Batohi acknowledges challenges in prosecuting high-profile corruption cases. Speaking at the graduation of 300 new prosecutors, she said efforts are underway to rebuild trust in the institution and strengthen the criminal justice system. In other national news, the Health Ombud, Professor Tawele Mokoena, has flagged poor management at Johannesburg's Helen Joseph Hospital, citing a lack of senior medical staff in permanent roles, with even the hospital's CEO serving in an acting capacity. He said weak leadership and missing standard procedures were worsening conditions. Now, last year, broadcaster Thomas Holmes, known as Tom London, shared videos online about poor treatment at the hospital. However, Mokoena found no evidence supporting his claims, stating Holmes was visited and examined daily by medical staff during his stay. In your international news making headlines, Russian state media reports that Russia is working with the US to address escalating violence in Syria, where over 1,000 people have been killed in recent clashes between loyalists of ousted President Bashar al-Assad and the country's new rulers. Now, most of the victims are civilians. Russia, a key ally of Assad, has military bases in the affected areas. The Russian ambassador to the UN expressed concern over the situation and confirmed ongoing collaboration with the US to resolve the crisis. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has announced the cancellation of 83% of US aid programs, aligning with its, quote, America First policies. Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirmed that the remaining 1,000 programs will be handled by the State Department. Emergency sectors. While some, including Elon Musk, support the cuts, aid groups warn that this decision could destabilize regions and undermine U.S. global interests. Now, Rubio said the U.S. would continue to reevaluate the foreign aid spending. And closing off your last bit of news today, love was definitely in the air at Cafe Roo in Cape Town this past weekend when Just Ginger's frontman Ard Matthews took the stage not just for a performance, but for a life-changing moment. Now, inviting his longtime partner, actress and model Tanya van Graan on stage for a, quote, quick story, he nervously confessed, "We have one life and I want to do it with you." Then he dropped to one knee. The crowd erupted in cheers as Tanya, overwhelmed with joy, said yes. Sharing her excitement online, she called Art the most kindest, loving person and their journey an anthem of love. With music and romance intertwined, their engagement became a melody of pure happiness. Once again, we wish the newly engaged couple all the success with their next chapter in life. And that is where we leave your 8 o'clock news. Let's delve into the last bit of sports with Graham.
Thank you so much, Carisha. Let's start with our international rugby, and no Irish players will face a Six Nations disciplinary hearing despite France's request following Antoine Dupont's knee injury. So the French captain tore his cruciate ligaments in a ruck collision with Tag Byrne and Andrew Porter. That was during France's 42-27 victory in Dublin. Dupont confirmed that he will now be sidelined as a result for several months, so it really is a major one. Now let's bring it back home for footballing news, and Eric Tinkler has been named Sekhukhune United's new head coach, replacing Lehlolo Siema in so doing. So he debuts tomorrow, in fact, up against Marumo Gallants in Bloemfontein. Tinkler arrives with Mark van Heerden as assistant, while Paulus Masehe, he stays on, and Kaitano Tembo makes the exit. And the former Bafana midfielder now returns to management after being sacked by Cape Town City in December of last year, and we certainly wish him well in his new tenure. Now, a little further afield, Nottingham Forest have lost their appeal against a £750,000 fine for a social media post criticising referee Stuart Atwell. So the post, made after their 2-0 loss to Everton last season, accused Atwell of bias due to his ties to relegation rivals Luton. And the FA upheld the fine, calling it, quote, an unparalleled attack on officials, and ordered the post's removal. Now on to cricket. Cricket South Africa, or the CSA, have docked the Dafabet Warriors match points, ruling them out of the One Day Cup playoffs. Quite a move. The review found they failed to meet transformation requirements in their 16th of February clash up against the Hollywood Bets Dolphins. So the breach, which violates Clause 3.2.2 of the CSA's administrative conditions, involved not fielding the required number of black African players on the day. So we certainly watch that space, but that's where we leave our sporting headlines for this Tuesday morning. Let's get one last take on the roads and the weather.
Let's take a look at what's happening in your weather and traffic. Starting off with the traffic, of course, because we want you to get to wherever you're going safely. And in KZN Umdloti, there's a stationary vehicle at the ramp from Umdloti southbound at the N2, which is causing the left lane closure. Please exercise extra caution over there if you are using that route, and make sure that you adhere to the rules of the road. In Cape Town, the mother city, Bellville, heavy delays are expected as a result of congestion on the N1 outbound at Durban Road. Please make sure that you do allow for additional travel time to the morning commute, as my friend, it is seeming like things are a little bit tricky over there. For now, though, let's check out what's happening with your weather. The SA Weather Service has issued a level 2 warning for severe thunderstorms over central and eastern northwest, Free State and southwestern Gauteng. Expect heavy downpours, localized flooding, strong winds, excessive lightning and small hail. Disruptive rain can also be expected along the coast from Port Alfred to Port Edward, which may lead to flooding from Thursday into Friday. Foggy patches will affect parts of the west coast, KZN, Eastern Cape as well as Western Cape. Meanwhile, extreme heat due to the Berg winds is expected over the western interior of Western Cape as well as Northern Cape. We'll keep you up to date with anything else that happens over there. However, right now, my favorite part of the show, it is your sunrise view. And Anthea from Zikoflay has done the things that need to be done. This is such a stunning view indeed. Look, for me, I'm just like, I don't even know how you got this right. The one tree on the one side, the one on the other, and then the sun slap bang in the middle, but still reflecting on the water and the grass, everything just so beautiful. Anthea, well done. I love this. And you know we absolutely adore to see what's happening on your side of life with your sunrise view. So thank you so much. Right now, though, let's check out what's happening with your temperatures for the last time.
Well done, you have made it to the final hour of the Tuesday edition of your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Let's get into what we are tucking into. And yes, we are headed back to the kitchen because we're making something so good. It's one of my go-to salads. It is a Caesar salad. But listen, we're going to learn how to make a homemade Caesar salad dressing, you and I. A couple of components to make the creamiest, most delicious thing you've ever tasted. And not only that, we have to touch down in the sporting world once again, where South African golfer Dylan Naidu talks all about the South African Open. We'll get into all things good straight after this, so don't go anywhere.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, welcome back. We missed you for all of those 2 minutes. It's good to be back with you. And honestly, I am so excited for us to be chatting to our guest this morning. He is a king that has made history in the golfing realm here in South Africa and honestly the world. I am talking about none other than Dylan Naidu, the guy who has just so happened to be the very first player of color to win the SA Open. That is huge. It is massive, Expresso family. And this is why we have to celebrate this king right here. It is his first European Tour title, and he did so at the Investec SA Open Championship, and he did so beautifully. And honestly, I cannot wait for us to hear more about him because he's now even allowed himself to qualify for the 153rd Royal Port Rush that is going to be happening, and he's going to be representing South Africa in the best way possible. Everybody, let's welcome Dylan Naidu.
Thank you.
Dylan, you freaking superstar. How are you?
I'm great. And you?
I'm amazing. You're a history maker. That's what you are.
Yeah, it's been a week and a bit and it hasn't really sunk in yet.
Yes.
So I'm really grateful still. Yeah.
Oh, Dylan, I am incredibly proud of you. I think that, getting to see people like you do what you do, but on a level that is literally world class, I think it's so exciting. It's so inspiring. And I have to ask you, in terms of you and now being this champion, in those last few moments with that very final birdie putt, what was going through your mind? What exactly were you thinking in that moment?
It was one of those where I didn't want to think about the scale of what I was doing. I wanted to just focus on this putt, what this means to me in the present moment.
Yeah.
And then as I hit the putt and watched it go to the heart to me and to so much more people that I didn't even realize,
Yes. And I also know, when we talk about you and having done this, we're also talking about the fact that you've now allowed yourself to get to the 153rd Open at the Royal Port Rush. Talk to us about that. What does this actually mean for anyone who doesn't know, and how are you getting ready for it?
So it's in golf, in the same way in tennis you have the Grand Slams. In golf you have the major championships. You have 4 majors, which is the Masters, the British Open, the US Open, and the US PGA Championship. And so I've qualified now to play in the Open Championship, which is it's a dream, I've always wanted to, and you say, okay, one day I'll get there, one day I'll play there, and then now I'm going to be there in a couple months' time. And it's very special, even yesterday we were doing planning for, accommodation and who's going to stay where and that type of stuff. So it's really exciting.
No, listen, I can imagine, and I feel like you're someone who is just going to go and make us so proud there. You've already done it here. I can see that you're going to go and just take us international even more. But Frank, talk to me about this. You've broken into the DP World Tour's winner's circle. What exactly does this mean for you? Because now you can sit pretty as a champion. But what does it mean for what's to come as well?
Yeah, it's completely changed my schedule for the rest of the year. I had no playing category on the DP World Tour, and now I'm going to be playing in all of the biggest tournaments, in Wentworth, at the Scottish Open.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a exciting journey that's ahead, but I think I'm ready for it.
That's beautiful, Dylan. And so essentially, your life has just changed forever.
Completely, yeah. Especially the next 2 years, I'm going to be playing on the DP World no matter what.
Yes.
So I threw my schedule away and had to start a new one. And
Yes.
It's really exciting, yeah.
We love that. And Dylan, of course, it didn't happen overnight. For anyone out there who's kind of like, oh my goodness, how did Dylan get there? Where did the journey actually begin for you? At what age were you actually already playing golf and getting ready for this moment that you're in right now?
Oh, I started playing golf when I was 6 or 7 years old, and I think I really started to take it quite seriously when I was like 15 or 16. I said, okay, I really want to do this. And between that time and when you turn pro, there's still a lot of pitfalls along the way. I went to college in America.
Playing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I love about you golfers, is the fact that it goes on for as long as you want it to.
Exactly. Or as long as your body can allow you to. And that's why it's important to look after yourself. And
yes, 100%. And honestly, I feel like, when we talk about you and what you've done, this is something that's going to be written in the history books. And I'm so, so happy for you, because I feel like all of that work that you put in, that is exactly what you're seeing now, the fruits of it. Talk to me about that time in the US. What did it teach you for this moment that you're in right now?
It was an interesting time. It was there were some really, really cool moments. You're playing at the highest level collegiate golf against some of the best players who will eventually become the best players in the world.
Yeah.
So it was really cool from that perspective. And there was also lows. I'm really far away from home. It's super different culture. And I think I went there as, you know, a kid, and I came back as a man. You know, I was really a completely different person by the time I came back.
That's beautiful. And Dylan, I want to be a golfer. Please give me one tip. I'm trying. But Dylan, I really want to. I want to go be on the, you know?
Yeah,
on the green.
I would
That's what they
say
call it,
go
right?
to the, it's on the green.
Yeah, look at me.
I would say go to the driving range, and the first goal is just to make contact with the ball. Just
Okay.
make contact with the ball and enjoy that.
Okay.
You know, that feeling.
I've hit one ball before. I won't
There we
tell you how
go.
many times I swung, but I've hit one ball before. Perfect. Dylan, congratulations. We're so proud of you.
Thank you
and
so
we can't
much.
wait to see you make us more proud on a global stage. Well done.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. He is one to watch indeed, a man who made history, the first person of color to lift the SA Open trophy. And honestly, I feel like, yes, his name is going to go into the history books, but I feel like right now he's also just made us so proud as a country, reminding us yet again, honey, no DNA, just RSA. There's still so much more to come here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. My beautiful family in Cape Teasy Foshizi, what are you guys up to? You look busy that side,
Oh, we've been very busy, albeit Stephen Kitshoff did make the lion's share of this meal, but we're going to finish it off for our beautiful black bean meatballs without the meat. All we need to do to finish them off is just literally pop them in our beautiful tomato sauce.
Sure.
And we cook that for about 20 minutes or so, just to let the sauce reduce and the flavors to infuse, and we are winning at life. So that's one meal done and dusted. Let's move on to our salad. And this is a showstopper. Why settle for store-bought when you can whip up a fresh and flavorful Caesar salad in minutes yourself? And with its perfect balance of creamy, tangy, savory flavors, we need that umami here. This homemade version is simple and satisfying. Okay, I'm
sure
going
is.
to leave this guy
Shall I start
off
on
to do
the
his
dressing?
thing. And you can start mixing up our dressing. So what's going inside?
Okay, so how do you feel about
Okay,
Caesar
I'm going to trade
salads?
places with you. I love Caesar salads.
Same.
I absolutely adore them.
With chicken in them, that's my go-to
Yeah,
every
gotta
single
add the
time.
protein. Yeah, no, I'm
so you
there.
can either go full mayo or you could go half mayo, half yogurt. So let's actually
Okay.
go that way today.
All right, I
Because we
like
like
that.
creaminess. So let's dive right in.
I'm a tang kind of person. I love that. So
100%.
I'd probably go all in with the
mayo.
With the mayo, but I like the fact that you can kind of temper it a little bit.
Yeah. And then we're going to do, this is always the part that scares me a little bit, but it adds so much flavor.
Oh, you've got to have the
anchovies, all chopped up and ready to dive in.
It's
and then
the
we
saltiness.
have,
And I think a lot of people are maybe, they shy away from the whole anchovy.
Yep.
So, you know, if it's a part of the sauce, it gets introduced in a far more kind of inconspicuous way. And I think that helps a lot.
You also get the paste, which also makes it easier to digest. We'll go in with some mustard, and then we're also going to have some lemon juice. You just have to make sure that it doesn't curdle, so you got to keep stirring. And
So low and slow, even for this.
Slow
just take
and
it
slow.
easy when you're introducing the oil, especially. Just
Some salt and pepper.
gradual.
And then, Gray, I'm going to ask you for your help. So
Okay.
basically, you're going to pour the oil in, and I'll keep stirring.
You just emulsify.
Emulsifying and infusing. I mean, you could definitely use like a blender or something to do this, but they like to use human labor, so, you know.
And it gets that, yeah, but, well, if you've got it, use it, man.
Use it.
Put the
You've
kids
got
to work,
arms, use
yeah.
them.
And you can see already now that's coming together beautifully. It gives it this like luxurious, velvety
Oh, it
kind
smells
of look. That
incredible.
looks beautiful. Well done.
I think Stephen
Nailing
would be proud of my arm movements
would.
here.
We'll send him a
'Cause
clip.
why is it
do you
burning
enjoy,
already?
Do you enjoy my arm movements in this particular exercise? I like that.
Okay, yeah. So then we're also going to throw in some Parmesan cheese.
Oh, yum.
And that's really, I think it's because the salad is kind of indulgent. That's why I like it. It doesn't feel like you're eating a
It does
salad.
feel like a meal, yeah. No, it's definitely on that side of the spectrum. And the key here is you want this flavor to go everywhere. So
Yeah.
I'm going to start on the mixing side here.
please.
Okay, so we've got our romaine lettuce. Am I correct, romaine?
Yeah,
I
you could
think
use
so.
romaine, you could use butter lettuce, any green leaf.
Keep it fresh, keep it cool, keep
Yeah.
it chilled. You want your lettuce to be fresh and crispy and beautiful. I see we've got our croutons here to add as well. You can make these. If
You
you've
could
got,
make them, I've heard.
I do it like my kids went through a phase where they just weren't having crusts. So I just cut the crusts off,
Yes.
chop them up, a bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt and pepper, some herbs,
Lovely.
and you've got your own beautiful
And it
little
probably
crunchy
tastes better
creations.
than store-bought,
Because
actually.
it's love, because it's infused with love. Okay, so I'm now going to mix in our beautiful sauce. And that does smell.
And I love this because every
exquisite.
piece of lettuce gets coated in the sauce as well.
Yes.
So you've got to do it at the base level.
And
If you
just
need more
handle-
sauce, I got you.
I know. Sauce, we've got enough sauce
We've
to
got
make
enough
about
sauce forever.
200 salads, but that does look great.
You probably could do with
I
more,
think we
Graham.
have, you can add a little drop more. We're all about the excess
More
today,
is
and
more
that's
always. There you go.
fine. Okay, that looks good. And it pops. You want the color to be
Yum.
fresh and impactful.
Delicious.
That really does look good. And we're going to hoy a few of our little
It's the
crunchy
crunch for
delights.
me.
I know. And texture is vitally important. I think because
So
of the sauciness of this, you need
Yes.
something, a counterbalance for that.
Exactly.
And there we go.
We are professional foodies. Look at this.
Yeah, I'm glad you stopped at foodies and left it there. That looks good. And then,
Of course.
dun, 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 dun.
Cheese, cheese, cheese. It makes everything better. So you could use grated Parmesan or like the shavings. That could also be really
Oh,
nice.
for
on
sure,
there.
yeah. And I think Parmesan or a really strong cheese in that space, it's got to be. You want to kind of layer in that umami, even in that phase.
Yum.
And then you can even have a little extra
could.
leftover zing to...
A whole bowl, if you will.
Yeah, because I think people want to kind of get it, and then you can finish it off with, the garlic.
The garlic.
Okay, well, you can bolster it up, and then we can sell it en masse. If you want to buy our very special chicken Caesar salad sauce, you can do it.
Oh, and it
So
is
there we
very
go. This is
special.
a kitchen staple, a wonderful classic dish that doesn't have to be all complex and crazy. It
Yeah.
really is as simple as throwing the ingredients together. Just make sure that there are bucket loads of flavor.
Definitely. I would definitely, like I said, either add some bacon or some chicken, get that protein in. But this is really good on its own. ExpressoShow.com is where you get it. And the garlic is in.
Yay. Well done. Mix it up. Well, we have got more performances, a little bit more cooking, and a whole lot more fun on the way. And I say that with a wry smile. We're going to get into relationships in just a moment and the role that social media plays. How much is an overshare? For me, anything on social media is an
It's too
overshare.
much.
It's too much. I don't know, but I do sit on that side of the fence. How do you feel about sharing on social
You
media?
know what? I used to overshare, and then my man was like, that's a little bit too much for me because random people are adding me on Instagram. So now I just share without tagging. And they're like, who's that? You'll never know.
Oh, you see, because he's a day walker, so he's dating a celebrity, but he's...
Is that what you call it? A day walker?
He's a day walker.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry,
now you got a
bud.
new
Sorry.
name.
I'm lucky that my wife is more famous than me, so it helps out. Mawalele is going to be performing. There's a reason why this kid just keeps getting nominations left, right, and centre, and you will find out in just a moment.
I'm looking forward to it. That relationship advice, too, is on the other side of this.
Win a Toyota Corolla Cross 1.8 XS Hybrid with Plascon's 2025 Hybridity Color Forecast Competition. Spend 500 Rand or more on any Plascon products. WhatsApp your receipt name and ID to this number. T's and C's apply.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
welcome back in the name of love. Expresso family, listen to me. There's so much that happens when there are just, couples that share, couples that allow the rest of the world into what exactly is happening in their relationship. And honestly and truly, we've seen it play out differently, right? Where it's a perfect love story on the Instagram streets to a terrible breakup that's happening right in front of our eyes. There's all kinds of variations, but you always have to ask yourself the question, how much is too much? When is it that we're oversharing when it comes to our love stories? We're today in very good company because we have someone who in fact has all of the details and has all of the facts when it comes to possibly just how well we can actually do when we are talking about this and our relationships on social media. I'm talking about clinical psychologist. It is Kim McKay, and she's going to be helping us out with that question. How much is too much when it comes to sharing in terms of your relationships? Everyone, let's give her a feel-good welcome, please.
Thank you.
Kim, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks, and you. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Yes.
So, Kim, I'm the mayor of Singletown, right? So I don't, I don't dabble too much in the relationships. However, I've always been one that is very, very strong in terms of the opinion of when we talk about social media and love and putting it out there. Originally, I was very much like, don't share anything.
Yeah.
But then I asked myself the question, I was like, but then what's the reason that you're not sharing? Is it because of other
Good question.
people? Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, then in fact, allow people to share. If you want to share, share. But then this is where we get to the question, is there such a thing as oversharing when it comes to your love story and love on social media?
Sure. I think going on exactly that, every couple's going to be different, right? So there is no blanket approach or blanket answer to something like this. I think what's important is for every couple to be able to have this conversation and decide for themselves what is appropriate and what's not. When you do sort of overshare, there are some pitfalls or, some negative effects to that.
Yes.
And those can be, for instance, people can question your authenticity, right?
Yeah,
so are you
true.
really being authentic if all you're doing is posting online all the time about your relationship? Why are you posting so much? What's happening behind closed doors if you're posting that much? So really authenticity becomes quite a big concern. The other thing is if you're also going to be posting all this stuff online, it really takes you away from being present in your relationship because you have to create all this content. So you're sitting, how authentic are you being? But now you're also creating all this content and we're not really spending time together. We're not really deepening our connection or, being able to really be in the moment. So all of that. The other thing also is privacy concerns, like people seeing where you are, what's happening. This is South Africa also.
It really is.
Right, so privacy,
Even on that note, particularly privacy, is there possibly a conversation you should be having with your partner earlier on in terms of boundaries when we talk about social media? Is that something that is really pertinent for the relationship?
Oh, absolutely. I think talking about boundaries in general, not just to do with social media, should be one of the very first topics you have as a couple. But in particular with social media, I think boundary conversations and things you want to consider is consent. Have I asked my partner permission to post them on social media, or am I just doing it sort of willy-nilly? Consent is a really big thing to consider in terms of having a boundary conversation. But also, what are we posting? How much are we posting online? All of these things are important boundary conversations because every person is going to be different and not everyone has the same understanding or ease in terms of posting things on social media. And this can really affect relationships in terms of the level of intimacy, the depth that you're able to go in, purely based on the fact that, social media is there. It is a fact that social media is part of our everyday lives. And modern relationships in particular. So it is going to be there, but being very mindful about the types of boundaries that you set with your partner is important.
Definitely. And of course, I know that there's always conversations around, public relationships particularly. So, of course, we've heard about breakups that happen within the entertainment industry even, where there's high-profile couples that now are announcing the fact that they've broken up. Can I ask you why it is you think that they decide to share that, that they're no longer together? I know a lot of people always have this question on their minds.
I mean, I think there's a couple reasons for that. First of all, high profile, right? So they're in social media, or they're in the public eye. So blogs have been talking about them, tabloids, you know, newspapers, so that their relationship is already in the public space. And so by being able to post about the breakup online, they get ahead of the narrative. So they're able to control the narrative and decide what information is put out there, you know, dispel any, you know, things that people might think happened in the relationship, and really decide for themselves what they want to put in there. But it's also a way for them to set boundaries, because I'm sure you've seen in a lot of these statements, there is that line, the one-liner that says, please respect our privacy during this time, right? So that's a way for them to also set boundaries around that. But then there's also this level of public interest. You're a high-profile figure. There's people that follow you that are really invested in your life and what's happening.
That's true.
And so I think there's kind of almost like a responsibility that comes with that, where you have to explain by virtue of being a high-profile figure and putting yourself out there, that you have to kind of give an explanation for what's happened.
Kim, you just made me feel better about wanting to know people's business. Thank you so much. Because now when I want to know what happened and why, maybe they, like you said, responsibility. They must be responsible to me. Okay, well, listen, Kim, I feel like when we talk about this as well, you know, there's so much that happens in terms of public validation, particularly on social media, for people as individuals. But can we talk about it from a perspective of now, with relationships particularly? How does it affect a relationship, the whole public validation thing?
Yeah, so what happens is, you know, every like, every comment creates a small little dopamine release in your brain, right? So what that happens, what that means is that you are then motivated to check social media all the time, because you're waiting, you're anticipating, you know, this dopamine release. And then so that affects relationships, because relationships are not like that. Relationships about being patient. You know, it's a slow build, and you need to build meaningful relationships. And so it'll affect the level of intimacy that you receive or that happens within the relationship. Research also shows that just the presence of a phone, in the whether you're using it or not, affects your brain, in the sense that you anticipate that there's going to be an interruption. So you can imagine then, in a relationship context, if there's just a phone sitting on the table, we're not going to have a very deep, meaningful conversation, because I'm anticipating that this phone is going to interrupt me. And so I don't get to go to the depth or the level that I need to go to build sustainable relationships, you know. And then you kind of have to ask the question, why aren't relationships lasting very long in this modern age?
It's the phones. Kim, is that what you're saying?
It could be. I think it's a big factor. I think it's a very big factor, because we're glued to our phones. And that, you know, your brain gets reliant on that dopamine release all the time.
Hectic. And talking about being glued to our phones, here's a little bit of a tough one for you. Should partners have access to each other's social media accounts?
That's a tricky question.
It is. It is. Hence I said it's tough, Kim. That's a tough one.
I think it's going to depend again on the couple. But a question, something that you said earlier is you've got to ask yourself why. Why do I need access to my partner's phone, right? Is it because I'm questioning, you know, is it around secrecy? Is there something I'm uncomfortable with? Then I'd rather say have a deeper conversation around that. Rather than having access to the phone, because that just creates surveillance, you know?
Fair.
Yeah, like I'm surveilling my partner, so you're not really building trust. You're not really allowing the relationship to be able to build trust organically. You're really relying on your ability to check the phone.
And to be a detective. I hear you, Kim. You make sense. This is why we trust you as our clinical psychologist. And Kim, I love the fact that you're not going anywhere. In a bit, let me prime you so you don't feel like I'm throwing tricky things at you. We're going to be asking you about, if they don't post you, are they hiding you? You're going to need to please give us your take on that, Kim. That is still going to be coming up right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. If they don't post you, are they hiding you? Hey, there's a lot going on. We're still also going to be getting into some of your comments that you sent through on social media. Thank you so much for doing so. Of course, you always find us on #Expresso Show. But my Cape Town family, things are heating up here in Johannesburg. What's happening that side in Cape Town? What can we still look forward to?
Oh, I absolutely love that. I'm thinking from a parent's perspective, just the introduction, we honed in on cell phones and social media and that kind of connection. You can imagine for a young person navigating the social space, how much that's going to spice it up. So many more questions to be answered, and thank you for yours. We're going to continue that discussion about sharing our relationships in the social media space, what that means for us and for you on the other side of this.
Definitely, it can get tricky, but not only that, we're going to lighten the mood a little bit because Mawelele is still around and going to perform a wonderful song for you. So entertainment, but also insight lies for you on the other side of this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, things are getting so saucy here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Friend, we're talking about if your partner doesn't post you, are they hiding you, son? There's a lot going on. But of course, it was all sparked from the question that we asked you on social media this morning, where we asked you, do you share your partner on social media? You know, is that something that you believe in? How much is too much, actually, when we say, okay, I'm sharing about my relationship? How much can get us into a space that possibly doesn't look so good? And thank you so much for coming through, because I feel like you always come through as our clinical psychologist on the social media streets. As we chat to Kim McKay, our actual clinical psychologist, rather, here in the Johannesburg studio. And Kim, are you ready for some of these answers, my lovely?
I am.
It is one thing to, you know, I think get the comments. It's another to actually, I guess, have people who have a little bit of experience with this, right?
Sure.
Let's jump right into it. Natasha Levendal says, sharing your relationship online can be both positive and negative. On one hand, it's great to share your love and happiness with the world. But on the other hand, it can also lead to unnecessary drama and criticism. I believe it's crucial to consider your partner's feelings and boundaries before sharing anything online. Is Natasha on the money?
Absolutely, yes. It's a conversation. You can't just decide. And also there's pros and cons, right?
Yes.
To it. We can't oversimplify.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. Janine Collins says, good morning, Expresso Breakfast team. Have a terrific Tuesday. Thank you, gorgeous. Every relationship must be kept private. There's no need for everyone to know what is going on in your personal life. What do we say to this, Janine?
Look, each to their own, right? Every relationship is going to be different. There will be some couples that absolutely believe everything should be private, and that's fine. There's no right or wrong answer. It's going to depend on the couple.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Then Nama Bana says, good morning to our awesome Expresso teams. I think it's so important to strike a balance between sharing our relationships online and keeping some things private. Can't wait to hear everyone's thoughts on this. Love that. And then Angelique Blackie says, good morning, my beautiful Expresso morning show team. I think you should keep it at a minimum or as little as possible if it is a new relationship or if your partner is a private person. If you guys are married, then still take a partner's feelings into consideration. And if your relationship doesn't work out, you don't need to be asked the whole time what happened. So as minimum as possible. What do you say, Kim?
It depends.
Okay.
I think definitely in the beginning, maybe it's something you need to build up.
Yes.
You know, start off slow, and then as it warms up, you can increase, dependent on whether your partner consents to that or not, and if how private they are. Exactly what she said.
Yes.
But yeah, it's going to depend on every couple.
Okay. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I guess it's different strokes for different folks.
Absolutely.
And more than anything else, it's a very complex situation, which is why you kind of need to break it down with you and your partner.
For sure.
I love that.
Yes.
Now, talk to me about this, because I said to you, if my partner's not posting me, are they hiding me? And there's a little bit of something that comes through here where it's almost like what if your partner says no to posting them online, right? But they post everyone else. So friends from both sexes, they post the family, everybody. You know, is there something to be concerned about there in that regard?
So yeah, so that statement, if they don't post you, then you know they're hiding you. I think can be an oversimplification, because you've got to ask the question. Number one, is my partner just a private person?
Okay.
And they're not interested in being on social media, or they're there but they don't really post much.
Yes.
You know, so it fits kind of their personality profile.
Okay.
Then you know, then I wouldn't say there's anything to worry about. Maybe it's not their way of showing love. Maybe it's not their love language by expressing themselves on a public platform.
But they love their friends, Kim.
Right. So now we
Yes.
go to the negative parts of that, right?
Yes.
So if what they're saying and what they're doing doesn't line up, then you have to start asking questions, right? So you're posting everybody else, but you don't want me to post you on social media. That's something, yes, to be concerned about.
Then they're tsotsi.
And I wouldn't say it's tsotsi.
Sounds very
But
tsotsi-ish.
I would say that that's a very good talking point, and something that needs to be worked through and spoken about in your relationship. And perhaps if that's not something that you guys can sort out in a conversation between the two of you, well, then going to therapy would be a good platform to be able to discuss something like that. But it's not always that if they don't post you, they're hiding you. You know, there's a difference between being secretive and being private.
Okay.
You know, being private is just, it's not part of what I believe in, it's not part of my value system, whereas secretive is I'm deliberately going, like, not trying to hide you. What I'm doing in other aspects of my life is not adding up to what's happening on social media. So I'm also hiding you with my friends. I'm also not letting you meet my family or whatever. So those things are similar to what's happening on social media, but I'm happy to post everybody else. I think then you do have to start asking some questions around, why?
Social
they're
media is
doing
sending
that.
us to therapy. That's all I'm hearing right now, which is hectic.
It's good to go to therapy.
It's very good, but to be sent there by social media, oh my goodness, it's doing a lot to our relationships.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's such an integral part of our relationships because of modern society and where we find ourselves now, that yes, it is part of the reason why a lot of people present in therapy is because of social media and the effects of that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I, like I said, it's very complex, but this is why I want to get to one of the most complex things about a relationship when it comes to an end.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these breakups. You know, when we now speak about the high profile people, I suppose, yes, like you said, sometimes they have a responsibility to the public to kind of explain.
Sure.
But just in terms of anybody who's going through a breakup, do you believe that, you know, these breakups rather being handled offline possibly helps a little bit better with almost closure, or even allowing someone to be able to completely let go of a relationship?
Absolutely. I think handling a breakup offline is probably the best way to go, because if you want to handle it online, again, you have to ask the question, why? Why do I need to handle it online? Am I looking for public validation? Am I looking for some sort of support online? And then you've got to ask yourself, is there an over-reliance on that, right? So why do I want to post this online? Doing it offline allows yourself to be able to process through the breakup without the noise and without everybody's opinions on it. Really, you're the one that went through the breakup, so you have to process the breakup, you know, and really go through the motions in a private space. So I would say that, you know, dealing with breakups, if you're not a high-profile person, you know, in private is probably the best way to go.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That sounds like 100% something that I think everyone should possibly decide to take, should that possibly be where you find yourself.
Sure.
But now let's talk about the social media thing. Like I said, it sends us to therapy sometimes.
Yes.
Let's say you find a message on your partner's social media that's a little bit like, you know, concerning. How do you handle something like that?
Talk, communication, open communication, you know, ask questions, be curious about what's happening. I found this thing on social media. It doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't make me comfortable for X, Y, and Z reasons. You know, give them an opportunity to explain and really unpack, but also talk about the effect that that had on you. I think it's important for partners to know that them showing up on social media in a particular way, they have to consider the effect of that on their partners. So are you friends with your exes on social media? Do you follow your exes on social media? Are you liking their pics? Not only exes, just anyone. You know, how are you showing up on social media? You have to be mindful of that.
Yes.
And how that could have an effect on your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my Kim, as we wrap it up, I mean, I feel like you've left us with so many gems. How would you just, you know, kind of advise someone who's possibly now looking at this and going, okay, cool, I need to decide how much am I going to show, how much am I not? Just what would you give in terms of words of advice?
Sit down and really figure out for yourself how you want to show up on social media and what role does social media play in your life, you know? Is it important for you? And if it is, really go back to your values, you know, what sits well with me when it comes to social media. And I think that will guide you in terms of the boundaries that need to be set in a relationship on what's appropriate and what's not appropriate.
I love that. I say hide everything. No, I'm joking, kind of. My Kim, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I can't wait for you to be back yet again to help us out on a Relationship
I'd love
Tuesday.
that. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Her name is Kim McKay, our clinical psychologist this morning, right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And friend, I hope you learned something. Son, it's tricky on those social media streets. You need a little bit of discernment to navigate them. However, I wish you all of the best. And honestly, you did hear from Kim the fact that it is possible to be able to navigate them in the best way. Right about now, my bests over there in Cape, TZ Fo Sheezy. Are you still good?
Sure, lots to process, hey?
It's too much.
Just talk, I think is a great jumping off point. Well, hopefully that has given you a couple of tools to lean on in the social media space. She was on her phone like literally 2 seconds ago, navigating
Don't
the
out
social
me.
Take it
Okay,
out.
I hid it behind the couch. I was updating the people on my social status too, my relationship status.
Because it matters. People want to know. So don't feel like you can't share anything. Just be careful and think of your partner. I think we need a party to get started right
please.
here.
Oh my
please.
goodness.
Mawalele is performing for you one last time this morning, proving why he is a multiple nominee. Obviously, the Metro FM Music Awards, a massive nod. He's nominated again and he'll be performing there, but we get to see him perform live on your Feel Good Breakfast Show after this.
Can't wait. Oh, what was I saying?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. One last piece of info to give you, and it's important. If you play Powerball and Powerball Plus today, there is 76 million rand in total estimated jackpots up for grabs, and you could literally be making it rain lots of cash this March. Sorry, I didn't.
You got it. You always got
Got to
it.
do it like that. So Powerball for an estimated 43 million rand, then Powerball Plus for an estimated 33 million rand today.
Oh my goodness,
Wow.
just a little bit of money. So don't get left behind. Buy your tickets now in store on the website nationallottery.co.za. There is the mobile app. There, of course, is cell phone banking, or just simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD.
And as you start to dream, we will, of course, post all those details on the Expresso social media pages, so you can go and check them out and go panda, push or play Powerball and Powerball Plus today for 76 million rand in that total estimated jackpot. Good luck.
Oh my goodness. We want you to win big, and we, of course, know that we've been winning big today. What an honor to have Stephen Kitsoff in studio with us to just really reflect on his journey and make sure that we send him off in the best way.
And I hate it because I was feeling emotional before he even came in here,
Yeah.
and more because he was on the show recently. Obviously, the day before he had his neck operation, which he must have been terrified about what that moment. And speaking to what I said earlier about him always being willing to be there for the fans, he showed up on that day.
Oh my goodness.
To connect with his fans, to connect with us, because we had asked him. And it's been like that always with him. He has given so much to the sport.
Honestly.
So I really hope that they treat him like that, a gem, and the information, the knowledge that he has just in the scrum.
Yeah.
He took the technicalities of what you can do in the front row to another level. So I hope that they're going to lean on that rugby knowledge as much as the leadership skills that he himself, I think, is so proud of having grown and developed. But what a guy.
I know. I hope he
man,
actually
hey?
writes a book or does or documentary, just something to have his history be archived in some sort of way. I'm very excited to see that all
and
play
when,
out.
when we talk about these big moments, so of
Yeah.
course South Africa, we now have emerged as being the greatest rugby nation of all time because of what we've achieved. And he's at the heart of those achievements.
Absolutely.
He's just an incredible, and then of course at his side, Amy Kitsoff has been
I
a
love her.
massive part. They come as a package deal.
Yeah.
And you know, he's saying he's interested in taking on a bit more boxing now. I think he has to, because Amy is so good at boxing. Maddie Leshing, enjoy having him in your gym, but we absolutely love him, and we love the fact that he came out here just to connect with us. So please show him some love online. Go and check out his businesses. He is doing some big things.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like this Tuesday's feeling very Tuesday-y. Can we ramp it up to like Friday states,
Yes,
please?
please. I would absolutely love this if we just take it to the next level. I mean, you heard already, 3-time Metro FM Music Award nominated legend. I'm going to call it that. I'm going to say it. I know he's young in the game, but he has proved himself over and over again. Mawelele is standing by with an incredible performance, and I think this is really going to be the cherry on top of our delicious cake that we've been eating today. So I hope you're ready, Expresso fam. I hope we're ready in these Cape Town studios, and Josie, I hope you're ready too to take on over.
Oh, we are more than ready, guys. Mawelele is indeed here to shut down the show. Thank you so much for joining us, Mzansi. With that being said, here's Mawelele with L-O-V-E, baby.
Ngingamanengisa ubuhlungu okuba nawe mathonono kunalo engibuzwa uma ungekho mathonono. Ngingamanengisa ubuhlungu okuba nawe mathonono kunalo engibuzwa uma ungekho mathonono. You give me that L-O-V-E. Baby, your love deeper than the ocean. Give me that L-O-V-E. Baby, your love deeper than the ocean. Give me that L-O-V-E. Baby, your love deeper than the ocean. Give me that L-O-V-E. Baby, your love deeper than the ocean. Awuthi uthando lwakho mama mama, oh mama, uthando lwakho mama, ludlula izintaba mama, amaqhuma namathafa mama, oh mama, oh mama, ngingamane ngihlupheke nawe dali, ngoba uthando lwakho luyingcebo yami, hlupheko zomhlaba zingafika zindlule, as long as nginawe dali wami. Oh wengami, oh dalwami, wenza inhliziyo yami dume njengeFerrari. Oh dalwami, uthando lwami, awuyinto permanent amathathu kakhelani. Ubokibela leyo khumbi, mawukhumbula gibela leyo khumbi. Angeke ikhanda lingasuli, awungoba mina ngicabanga ngakavuki.
Another feel-good production.